We are live. This is ATX Comedy Review. I'm ChadO. We got Zach Leboza, and our guest today is Big Tex.
Hey.
Nathan Garner, right?
Yeah. Let's bring that up. Let's just nail that one right now. Let's just nail that one right now. Okay? Why do I call myself Big Texas?
Is it short for anything?
No, I was given
It's long for...
for my fucking dick. No, I got that job. I got that name because of a job after college. I graduated college and I got a job in wilderness therapy in Utah, which is where my Utah jokes come from. And
like we know his set.
Right, yeah. I wrote a couple jokes there.
You can make Utah jokes not from Utah.
You can. That Mormons are fucking crazy. They believe in the charlatan. Let's be real. I don't mean that with any offense. They also the dry bar. They love comedy there. Anyway, no. So it was a very weird job. So there was like different groups of people that would go to this, and they couldn't take anyone who was like mentally severely like I'm going to hurt myself or others. Like they couldn't like violent.
Yeah.
Mental illness is not something that they could take really, but they would bring people out. Like it was basically like communism in the desert. Everyone gets the same thing: backpack, food, everything, and then they would check in. There was like all these weird rules. If you had to go piss, you had to call your name while you were away from the group, so you wouldn't like try to run away. And if you did try to run away, it was a whole thing. But it was very hard because you're out in the middle of nowhere. And we would find you. It's called wilderness therapy. It's a real thing, and it can only be done in Utah because of the stringent child laws.
Okay.
That they have there. Other places don't have something like that. So I will say that it's not for everyone.
And this is how you got your name Big Tex, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is where we're going with this, right?
And then started yelling, Big Tex, Big Tex.
Yeah, no. There was another Nathan on our shift, and we had to have so I got a field name, and I owned it. I just was like, I am big and from Texas. So
how long ago was that?
Oh man, that's when I graduated college. So God, don't ask me time. I sound like an idiot. I don't know time, dude.
You don't know what year you graduated?
No, I did 2016. So about 6-7 years ago, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you got the name Big Tex because there's another guy named Nathan in the wilderness expedition thing.
Well, that's the short
wilderness therapy.
Yeah.
That doesn't explain how to piss.
I was just,
in the forest.
I was just.
I need to know how to pee in the forest.
I was just looking for the point. That's all. Yeah.
That was the point. Yes.
All
so,
right.
And I wrote that.
We need to make clippable moments. That's the problem now. Is we don't have clippable moments. Everything's like 8
it
minutes
for
long,
Scott.
and here we go.
That problem is the clippable moment.
Yeah.
You write that down.
Yeah. Right.
Scott will be very excited once we start clipping moments.
Yeah. Well.
Especially if they're all of him.
Yeah.
I'm just going to clip in Scott to every podcast, being like, clip something. Come on.
Yeah. So anyways, great story, man.
Well, yeah. So, I got on Kill Tony with it, and I thought that was going to be a bigger deal. That's another thing.
So you were named Big Tex in Utah, right?
Yes, that's why I went by that. I threw it down because, I had,
And so you thought this should really work in Texas.
Well, yeah, I thought it stood out. I heard a rumor that Kill Tony went up because I just was coming and signing up and learning the whole thing. Like I'm new, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I heard a rumor that if you put a silly name down, like you'd stand out, and that makes sense on some levels.
On paper.
But when you get pulled out of a bucket, So just so you guys know, that was only 3 minutes.
Okay.
Just when you're on stage, and it feels like it's a long time sometimes,
I didn't feel like it was
You never say you can use that as a stage, tell a story. It's a 3-minute story now.
Yeah, but there's no jokes there, really.
So you realize that. I just want to make sure you understand that this story is not fucking funny at all, right?
No,
I gotta fuck with him a little bit because he talked through my set on Monday. He was like he shut me up.
Which is easy to do.
He shut me up 4 times to talk through other people. I kept on talking to him like other people's stuff, and he's like, "What? Shut up! No, I'm trying to listen." And then as soon as I go fucking on, him and Tony Pepperoni, I can hear him from the fucking stage.
Tony Pepperoni.
Yeah,
I was very chatty. Tony Pepperoni's a really fun guy to talk to. I don't know if you ever talked to him.
The 2 nickname guys. Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Arguing over who has the better nickname to pee in the forest.
Oh, it got heated. It got heated too.
It's like, mine's also a food, motherfucker. Yours is just a state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's the obvious version. If you said small text, that makes more, it's kind of
penis.
Yeah, it's more curiosity. Yeah, medium text.
Medium large. You go very detailed. I'd say average to a little above that average text.
7 3/4 text.
Dear 8 pounds, 0.4.
So On Kill Tony, you said it didn't work out though.
Well, yeah, I was new and I lacked poise. Was my biggest fault.
Well, you had the most poise. You moonwalked when you went on stage. The first thing you did.
I threw out some finger guns, like a real,
like
from like the heart of my white soul. I threw out some finger guns, and my joke. I picked a clean joke because I thought it would be impressive, and then I realized like that's a dumb thing because it was Kill Tony. So know the show better to don't bring a clean joke. So I did a posture joke. I got the joke off, and it has worked. In other places, like people have laughed at it before.
Just not Kill Tony.
Yeah, that didn't work. And so, but it was a really good. I mean,
was that at Vulcan or?
It was what we call a growth tornado.
It was at Vulcan. Yeah.
Vulcan. Oh,
yeah, that was at the Vulcan.
How long have you been doing stand up?
A year.
Year. Okay.
But
all here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, some in San Antonio as well. So San Antonio,
Texas.
San Antonio, San Marcos.
Utah when you live.
He did the comedy class with Amy O and what's the other girl's name? She's gonna be famous.
Trixie.
Yeah.
Trixie
what's her Instagram name?
Trixie Mitchelson.
But her Instagram name is.
What I'm famous.
What I'm famous.
Yeah.
So it was him.
Shout out Trixie.
It was him, Amy O, and what I'm famous in this comedy class in San Antonio.
That was the whole class?
No, there's more.
Small graduation.
No, there's more.
There's some other characters.
But I can imagine this class and this poor teacher dealing with big text, Amy O, and what I'm famous in this comedy class.
Oh, you feel bad for the teacher chat?
Yes.
Fuck you, dude.
I've been there.
What the fuck is that about?
Whoever had to host the graduation show was really like, jeez,
graduation show was lit. I had a bunch of my fire buddies show up.
Oh, nice.
I'm kidding.
It was litty.
No. So it was a good class though.
No, I would not say that it was a good class. I think that, and I'm sorry to say that to what happened, but like it was something for me that like I was going to practice my material, and like I obviously am going to take critiques if they make sense, but like I don't need anyone to like it wasn't like I needed to come up with my voice. I just was like it was a good weekly reminder of like work at this and see where you are in 8 weeks.
Where was the graduation show?
So it was 8 weeks.
At the upstage.
At the upstage, okay.
How much was that for the 8 weeks?
Oh man, you're gonna put me on blast? No, cheaper than that. It was like $180.
That's not too bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
And I thought though, because I was new, right? Like
and you had to pay for, you had to get people to buy tickets. But he's like, "Fuck you, I'm not doing that." He told me that story.
Yeah.
I did a bringer show for the graduation.
Yeah, every comedy class is a bringer show because I've been to a couple of them.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Every comedy class graduation is a bringer show.
Oh, the graduation.
Yeah.
Not every class.
No.
Okay.
Every comedy class graduation is a bringer show. Yeah.
I was like, if you had to bring people to like spit out jokes and shit.
No.
Retarded.
I feel like I have to defend myself. Like I was raised in like a very like religious Christian home. You know what I mean? So like we take a class when we're interested in something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just to justify.
You pay for your education.
I thought that it was going to be more like the people who ran the class knew people, and then now that I like have more, I've been here a little bit longer. I realize that none of that matters.
It was just,
at least he didn't do the Cap City one.
Well, that they know people though.
They might have been.
They actually know people though. They actually get you on helium clubs. They can book you around.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen.
Those
was
fucking
I'd be
assholes.
seen, and I would, someone would be like, "Oh my god," that's what we all think. Everyone thinks they're funny, right?
Right.
And everyone thinks that someone's going to come along.
But you're pretty funny, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but a lot funnier than most people take comedy classes for sure.
I hear isn't there like
you should put that in your bio, ChadO. You're pretty funny.
quote unquote. Yeah. No, isn't there like a dig against people who do that though? Isn't there like a whole group of people?
I think the problem is more the people who.
Well, Rogan says don't take a comedy class.
You don't fucking need to go out on stage.
Right.
Which is like, I agree with that, bro. I just was like, I thought someone would see me. I thought I could pick
and there is a networking. There is a networking thing there, though. You are working with, you got Amy and Trixie, and you guys have been doing shows together since then.
Yeah.
And it's because you guys made a little camaraderie in that class. I'm sure there's other little cliques and
Is Trixie the other stripper?
No, she's not a stripper. Okay. She might have been.
Blonde, fake tits.
Yeah, she sounds like what he's describing. Dude, yes,
I'm drinking at 2:00. This isn't like weird for me. This is like pretty normal. This is late for me.
Fair enough. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No, but
anyways,
there are like there were for a few months like a ton of strippers started doing comedy because Isabella did it and like was somewhat successful.
Strippers doing comedy,
and now there's like a ton of strippers, and they're like. They basically just strip at open mics. I was like, "What are you doing?" Like,
I feel like you couldn't know if you're actually funnier.
Yeah, they don't do jokes. They're just like, "Oh, that might."
They talk about their clients.
God, yeah, I bet they kick ass. I bet they're way better than all of us. I bet they do.
They have a lot less self-awareness. I'll say that.
It's like when you watch a porn on mute, you get the best parts of it.
No
but
one's
in
doing
real life, you can't mute.
Yeah.
there's
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
That's a women shouldn't talk joke. Cool.
no, it's strippers shouldn't do comedy joke, and that's it's not really a joke. It's just a fact.
Stick to your one performance, fuckers.
Yeah. Wow. I bet there's a funny stripper out there.
Isabella's good.
It's 4 hours, and
like
it's several performances.
Yeah. No, I think
You said Isabella's good. Like I said, he's good.
I like Isabella. It's a good, solid comedy.
He's just trying to like put it in so he still has a chance if he sees her on the street. You know, she's ever just like, oh my god.
That's why I'm trying to fuck Nathan.
I like her Donald Trump tan.
Get in line, Chad.
The orange.
No, I think the problem with taking comedy classes, especially somewhere like here where the scene's like growing, so it's not established, is you get a bunch of kids then that have taken it, and then when the new people come up, they're like, oh, how do I start comedy? And your response is, go take a class, go spend money. And it's like, not all comedians have money.
Yeah, no, I started with mics. Like, that wasn't my first thing.
No, I know.
But I just, I thought it would be, I didn't know. I was finding
Figuring
the
it
field.
out, yeah.
And I think, like, what I realize now is, like, at first I was very eager beaver to, like, get seen, get noticed, blow
Right.
the fuck up, right? That was the dream,
Right.
right? And now I'm just like, oh, it's just like every other creative art that's going to take several years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a grind and a showing up and a having fun. Like,
Right.
I will say the best thing about it that I have enjoyed is like how it's changed my life to where it's like I'm not at home playing video games. You know?
Right.
Like I'm out meeting people and doing shows, and that's really fun.
I've been at home playing video games.
We know that, Chad. Obviously.
You did.
Is this a good
Was the
time to bring
mothership?
up your VR?
Was the mothership this week?
Yeah. No. Last Monday.
It was,
Because it's Sunday right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 6 days ago?
6 days ago.
okay,
So,
nice.
so still in the review period for this week.
No, it's last week. It's the next. Is it?
6 days ago this week. Yes. How was it? How was the mothership?
It was cool. It was a really great experience. I love that they said my name and they gave me a joke. They called me up as big text.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
I love that. And I am very happy. I could see in myself marked improvement. I had poise. I built momentum. I got laughs after using my joke. I didn't have like a, oh my God, pound
Right.
on the wall. Like I didn't hit a home run, but I definitely put up points.
Did
What's
you?
Yeah.
What do you know? What position you were?
First, yeah.
Oh,
he opened up too,
So
yeah.
I opened. Which
Yeah.
was good because I feel like I really would. It
Yeah,
was
we both
cool.
opened.
I did break, like, I felt like I connected with the crowd. I let things settle, like I had good pacing.
Yeah.
And then I skirted out 20 seconds early, and because I couldn't think of a 20-second joke, but I had one in my back pocket, so I really regret.
I did the same thing. I was like, I had 15 seconds left. I was like, and there was somebody I knew in the crowd, and I was going to do a little crowd work on him, and I was like, fuck it.
That's cool. It sounds like you stuttered.
Yeah, I was like, I stopped and I didn't do it. Yeah.
That's always dangerous.
I ended
too.
on a laugh, and instead of trying something else rapidly and like fucking it up, I was
Yeah,
like, I'm
just
gonna
go.
hit.
Yeah, I was like,
And also,
that's
they
it
don't
for me.
care.
Yeah.
The 20 seconds, they want you off the stage.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't give it. So I was like, out of respect for the whole.
It's better than
is it
going
3
long.
minutes?
Yeah, it's 3
exactly.
minutes.
I'll
Yeah.
go long, right?
That's why I like, even when I do like 15, I prefer a 1 minute light. So I know like if I get a big laugh, just walk off.
So tell me, can I ask a question on the show? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
What are some of y'all's biggest shows to date? Where have you felt like you did the best, or you had like the biggest crowd? Talk to me.
I killed that Sandjack. Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I had like 3 people there that told me it was the best fucking set they've ever heard in their fucking life. I even
You know how upset I am?
I texted him about it. I was like, these people, they were high fiving me, like everything. Like it was like the best like ever. And then I did those same jokes at the mothership, and it was like, it was okay.
You're being real right now.
Yeah. It was
The worst part is I
3
knew his
people like
answer.
ChadO.
Yeah.
You asked the question, I was like, oh, I know Chad so well.
Yeah.
Like if this was the dating show, I'd be like, I got it. I don't know.
But that's just because it's a funny answer. But no, I did really good at Cap City. I've had full rooms at Cap City that just laugh. I had full.
That red room is awesome.
I had a laugh break at the mothership. I really did. And it was a small one, but it was after the dead dad joke and dead parents joke, and it had a good like seconds of just
Right.
not having to say anything, of just them laughing. So
Nice.
I have those moments, but that one that stood out was really the Sandjack one, because everybody's like, holy shit, that was funny. Like that's crazy to have that moment at such a small place. But what about you? I mean, you've been all over, man. You've been New York and everything.
I mean, my biggest shows probably, I worked for Jeremy Piven. That was pretty cool. They changed the Egyptian Theater into a comedy club for a while. That was pretty cool in LA.
Okay, cool.
Probably my best show. There was like some random open mic on like a Wednesday in Florida.
Nice.
In Tampa. And I was like,
Florida.
It was like a packed crowd, and I was like in a really bad mood. And I went up and just like everything killed. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Why are you laughing? This isn't even fucking funny. And they're like, this guy.
See, that's that Sanjak moment. Yeah, it's that one little bar that you just don't expect, you know.
Well, it was like, and like some guy was talking shit to me like right before I went on stage. So like I'm standing there trying to get like ready to go, and he wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I turned, I was like, shut the fuck up, you fucking piece of shit. And then they called my name. I walked up with that energy. And like. Something about like
also a really great way to bail out of a fight. You can, you can literally
I got to my fucking set, bitch.
That
was pretty cool.
What about what's been your best set this year?
It's out in Bernie. There's a brewery out there called Free Roam Brewery, and it's like once a month. Tammy Bernal's been on the show. You should check her out. She's like big time female comedian out in that area. And,
those two words together.
Deese is the guy who puts it on. Anyway, it's a great show. It's just packed because it's just like, I don't know, people out there are willing to drive, and it's like in the middle of town, so they drive there all the time. And then, there's just like, man, there's like, the last time I went there was like 230 people. It's just like big outdoor bar.
That's in San Antonio?
That's a huge gig.
That's huge,
what?
yeah.
That's huge. So, and then, I fit the crowd because I came up. I grew up in the Hill Country.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a really
it was
nice
your people.
it's a really nice little spot that I can get on.
And it's once a month, you said?
Yeah.
Was it this week?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I think one of my buddies went and did it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he said it was.
There was
really
3 people. Yeah. The one guy was there. He's been doing it 22 years. He travels around in his car. His name was Patrick. I should be better with names. I just realized.
I love comics.
22
22 years
Still
traveling in my
living
car. Yeah, we both caught that right away.
Right. But he was actually like
Let's be a little bit more positive. He lives in a castle now.
Well, when he smokes DMT. He lives in a castle. Yeah.
I'm sorry, we got off track.
Yeah.
That's okay. No, I like that. He was great. He actually did very well.
Yeah.
For living in his car.
And the other
For
two?
living in his car, he did good.
Yeah.
Huh?
You sounded like you had 3 guys you liked.
Yeah, so the opener was Deese. He's the guy who runs
Okay.
it, and he does well. He's been doing it for a long time too. He's from Washington, I think, Seattle, and then I got a 15-minute spot in the middle. So
That's another. There's a weird amount of Virginia and a weird amount of Washington in Austin.
Yeah,
I get a lot
okay.
of both those. Or like people who went to like Washington University and shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why?
You have 15 minutes of written stuff?
Yeah. Oh, I have 10 minutes clean, 10 minutes dirty. If I have, that's kind of what I have locked in, and it's all good stuff that I like. And so now I'm just continuing to write more, and then also perfecting. You know how it is.
Right.
Just trying to work it out, trying to see what gets laughs. And talking to my friends about it and just getting excited about it. It's dude, the creative process sucks. I spend a lot of time like I suck. What the fuck am I doing? This is a waste of my goddamn time.
Well, for me, it's always like, oh my god, like when I write it, I'm like, this is the funniest thing I've ever fucking written. I can't believe how fucking hilarious I am.
Right.
And then when I'm walking to like Mothership or whatever, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that new joke. That new joke sucks. Sure. It's like, you're like, what the fuck?
That's funny.
Do the new joke, dude. You gotta try
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then just eat a bag of dicks.
I went to the Muse this week and said, I'm looking for funny. Give me that funny thing. And it was all about kill yourself.
Nice.
So,
That's good therapy.
I just tapped right into that,
You can always volunteer, dude. You can volunteer as a fireman. You'll get all the death you want.
Yeah. I'll just be like, dude, trade me places.
What was that? Switch with me. You'll be like at the end of the new Star Wars where they...
Speaking of being funny, can I talk about how I met ChadO? We have to talk about it.
No.
I can't?
No, you don't know me.
Did you try killing him? What happened?
I don't know if that you have to be real with me right now. Can I talk about the story or not?
No, I probably shouldn't.
Fuck.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's such a juicy one.
You know how I met ChadO? I sat down at Creek in the Cave and he was there asking everyone if they wanted to smoke.
Oh, what a guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty ChadO for you. All right, so you did Mothership. We actually saw Kill Tony this week, and it was... Is awful the right word? I don't think anyone did well. That was picked. Andres did all right. He had jokes I liked and no one else did.
I went to college with Andreas.
Really?
I know him from Texas State.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I went to college in San Marcos, and one of my best friends. He lived next door to one of my best friends.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, he was just kind of we be partying in the backyard, and he would always hop over the fence or something. So I've known that guy for a while, and I shout out Andreas. I hope you're doing good.
I felt really bad. I was like, ah.
Well, Tony started off hating him right away.
Yeah, which hurts.
That just immediately just looked at him and did not like him. Tracksuit, little guy, just did not like him from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. And immediately after a set, he just like went into him, and then like everybody after him, he hated also.
Yeah.
So like if you got pulled that night, it was not
a great night to be pulled.
Yeah, it was not. So
he was like smoking. He was like not paying attention.
He was angry.
And Andres, I will say that he's got some fight in him, you know. So that's what's like. And we also butted heads in college because of that. I feel like, you know, he's just like he's got some fucking.
That's what I have a little dog who goes after my big dog all the time. That's what that reminds me of. It's like just a little stare, just like dude.
But no,
stop.
you'll hear if you watch his performance.
I didn't see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, it doesn't come out yet.
Yeah.
If you want, you'll hear me in the background laugh at his aloha joke. The whole room silence, and I'm just like, ah! And they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
They probably zoom in on you.
Yeah, they're like this piece of shit.
So there is some. What was I gonna go? Fuck. Oh, so there's some stuff that might be cut out of that episode.
Yeah.
That is pretty interesting. That happened on the inside.
It does happen that you get called up on a bung show.
night. Yeah.
Like that's what happened to. I like to pretend that's what happened to me. The truth could be that I'm not funny at all.
So they have that.
Nick had a pretty good set, and then from there he's a door guy.
Yeah,
and then it went down.
Yeah. I actually the other time I saw Nick, hold on, I called him the wrong name. I was like, "Hey, Andrew, what's going?" Like confidently went in with like Andrew or something. He goes, "My name's Nick." Though. Fuck. Sorry, dude.
Well, they have that one extra episode. They did the Sunday and the Monday. So they might not air it at all.
They might cut the whole episode.
Yeah, because Willie Montgomery fucks it up at the end. You know.
Well, if that happens, we have to talk about it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, we were inside.
The worst two people to be inside when they're trying to cut shit.
Yeah.
Front and center, like, oh, tell us more.
Yeah. So some shit went down that episode on the inside.
Yeah.
Just so we're gonna talk about it.
So we'll see when it comes out, and then.
But yeah, well, we're gonna talk about it now. Fuck it.
It's up to you.
So
cool guys, you guys are in on you're in some incels.
Nobody watches this shit. So we'll see.
10 days from now, it's brought up in a court case. We get subpoenaed.
Like Kill Alley doesn't get in trouble at all, but here we are, you know, just because.
Did you see the Instagram post on Kill Alley?
No.
Someone posted like, "Hey, if you just don't do Kill Alley, they don't have a show. So like, stop being a comic for 2 minutes and stop being like afraid and egotistical and just don't do their fucking interviews." I was like, Jesus, man,
that's the worst one.
Why haven't you tried then, you bitch?
Because I don't want him. I want him out of there. So yeah, what do you think?
Oh, that's absolutely awful.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that you said it beforehand, but I also would have said that. It tastes like aspartame. That tastes like a headache in a can right there.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Well, at least it's only 100 calories.
Brought to you by this fucking piece of shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So inside, we're watching Kill Tony. It's going terribly, and then out of nowhere, they start talking about those little bicycles that where people get ran over. You know, they put on the tree the little white bicycles with the flowers and the baskets and shit.
Oh yeah.
So he's talking about these being up there, and he goes, "I happen to have one in front of my house because my girlfriend can't drive for shit. She killed our mailman." That's what he says. It's like that, something similar to that.
Well, he was like, "All right, can we like pause the live feed?"
Oh,
and
no, he like bailed out. Like,
and then Tony's like, "Yeah, because this is fucking hilarious." And was like, "My wife or my girlfriend in the 4 months I knew her got in 3 car accidents, and one of them killed her mailman. One of them was
it was like a real story.
Yeah, so he's like, he hasn't been trying to talk about it for a long time, and all of a sudden it came up, and it's supposed to be 7 years or something, and so it hasn't been that time frame, obviously, because they've only lived here a couple years.
Right.
Yeah. So, but apparently, when they get home, they're going to unload their groceries, and she opens her car door, and the guy hits the car door and flips over the deal, and then another car comes and kills him, like runs him over. So now they have this bike on a tree in front of their house. Every time they come up to their house, they have this fucking reminder. Well, you can't take it down. As people come up and light candles for the guy all the time in front of their house.
You can take the bike down and just put something nice there. You don't have to keep the bike, dude. Stop.
But people come up all the time and leave shit there in their yard.
To kill a Mexican.
So they like, okay, we'll start back over. They act like it didn't happen.
And like Tony asks like a normal question to get everyone.
And just everybody's back on track. And then William Montgomery comes up and does 2 minutes about how he's in the car with Red Band's girlfriend, and they run over the fucking mailman. She's drunk. She doesn't know how to drive. She's running over people. Like just like all.
She had murder in her eyes that day. And then they're like, well, fuck. Now we're fucked. Like,
so that episode just might not make it at all, which has happened before because Swiggy's episode
got completely cut
because of the scientist guy called Jared Nathan an R word.
Ooh, yeah, I can't be saying that.
Yeah.
That's why they cut it?
Yeah, that's why they cut it, because he called...
Why not just have the scientist guy get fucked?
Who's the scientist guy? I'm trying to remember now,
I don't
though.
remember his name.
Yeah.
Also, they should... If they do that, like, Red Band should invite everyone to Secret Shadow.
Yeah.
Sorry, your thing got cut.
No, that's not.
But that's why they have backup episodes now. You know, that's why I think they have that extra Sunday show.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Fuck, that sucks. Poor Swiggy.
Yeah.
First the Eagles, now this.
Hey, Swiggy said he did really good on that one. But, you know, he's an acid.
They should at least, like, cut yours and, like, he should be able to get his.
Yeah, he should be able to at least get the clip out, or they should post it.
He should reach out to Red
My
Band.
bum night happened in Freeze. Like, remember the freeze that happened this year?
Oh, yeah.
And it was fucking terrible. All the fucking trees fell down.
Uh-huh.
And it was supposed to be Roseanne Barr, and so she lives out, I think,
Right.
in the hill country. And so she couldn't make it in. And so, yeah, I think it was Allie, what's her last name?
Makovsky.
Was just
goddamn Polacks,
Tony, her, and Redman.
Yeah, I remember that
like,
episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do remember.
And talk about
the
people
beginning of
bombing,
the
like
episode.
Hans Kim came out, and Tony came out Hans Kim, which set the show like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then then people just started bombing. Puppa Guy got up.
I remember that.
really
And then
bombed it
Olinger
out.
went after him and crushed.
Yeah. He did good.
Yeah.
Right. No. Yeah. He was the end.
Yeah.
That's the guy with the.
Alex Olinger.
Yeah.
Shorter.
But that was Aaron Belisle's episode, too, right? You were on the Belisle episode?
No, that's who I'm talking about. Wait, who were you talking about?
The puppet guy went on, and then Alex Olinger followed him.
Yeah.
Alex
He did,
is the little shorter guy, kind of bald.
He was a welder. He talks
sure I
about
know
that on
his
stage.
Yeah.
But he followed the puppet guy and did like a minute on what the fuck was that?
Oh, yeah, no, he did
and then
well.
they're like,
Yeah,
hey, like do your actual minute. That was really funny.
I do know that guy.
We want to hear your actual. And then he
was
did
good.
really well on that. Got
Nice,
season
good for
show.
him. Yeah, no, I was on in that crazy.
In that fuck around?
So, yeah, at one point Tony was so pissed off at his own show, he wasn't like,
Right.
Dude, I said like, yeah, he gave me like a 5-minute interview, dude. Which is like usually you interview for 20 minutes, and then at the end of it he was like, preach us, or Allie fucking tried to throw me an improv bone, but then she asked me to preach the gospel, you know, which is just like a tough one to. Like, I mean, yeah, that could if I was experienced of like maybe like 15 years, would I have done better? Absolutely.
Give that Sam Kinison impression.
To the part of the Bible where Moses kills 75% of the Jews.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
there's a lot of ways. It was, to be fair, it was a fair bone.
That's happened a few times, huh?
Moses kills the Jews 2-3 times in the desert.
But he's not. But Hitler is the one famous for it.
Wait, Moses doesn't kill the Jews.
Yeah,
Moses helps the Jews.
He kills 75% of them.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, when he comes down from Mount Sinai and sees the golden calf.
This
is where you should get your biblical shit. Right here.
When he sees the golden calf, he has.
I have to kill all of you.
Yep,
Jews.
That's Moses. He saw the golden calf and he took like 2 tribes of Jews that were the strongest and had him kill everyone else. Yeah, they don't teach that in Sunday school.
Interesting. Where do they teach it then? Is it
in the Bible?
Oh, it's in
when you read the book.
Well, there's a lot there. You gotta.
There's a lot. It's a pretty fucking.
I'm guessing it's in the Old Testament. It's before Jesus.
All the fucked up shit's in the Old Testament.
In Utah, they only talk about Jesus in the New Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
So that's,
Hang on, the Jews wrote 800 pages.
It is weird that they throw a bone to Jesus, though. Like they don't have to do that.
No.
When they made it.
well, because that's like the Old Testament for them. You know, it's like the old way than the next version. You know.
Anyway.
But no, I was all.
You look very Mormon.
I know that's one of my my mustache looks like a Mormon fucked a cop.
Jesus.
Which they do.
They do.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some Mormon cop fuckery out there.
Yeah.
They have
And
to
I've
take
been
off their
switching
special
them.
pajamas
It's
though.
like hot girl cop, you know.
Well, it's very
Super
funny
Mormon
because
No.
like
and then it flips.
we basically did the same things to the Mormons that we did on the Trail of Tears, and no one talks about it. I'm like, yeah, they got murdered and pushed out of their city 3 times before they got to Utah.
Yeah, there's
And it's like,
a lot of history out there. People don't think about that.
Well, people are like, oh, we hated the Native Americans because their skin. I was like, I'm pretty sure we just didn't like anyone who was different. It was Mormons got the same treatment. There's a lot of people.
Irish people. Yeah.
Imagine being the Quakers in the world where everyone's just shitting on each other, and your whole thing is like, we can't shit on
We can't do it.
You
It
just
was so much fun.
Yeah, you just constantly get
I wonder how many
killed
people
slowly.
left. They're like, gee, I just called her a whore for 6 hours. It was great. It was so much fun. And they're like, you can't be one of us anymore.
The Quakers are basically the Rick and Morty. They're Jerry's, dude.
Quakers
Quakers are the Jerry's of the world. And it's fucked up.
Actually,
there is some truth to the philosophy, but it'll never be.
I think Ridge's thing, the Mennonites are more the Jerry's
yeah.
of the world. Because the Amish people, at least they have the cool furniture and they like stick to it.
And they go on
but
vacation.
like Mennonites are like, we'll try electricity, but we won't use deodorant.
Right. I think it's just an excuse to still hit your wife. And stuff. Like, we can still do that here. Are you guys jealous yet?
That's what. Yeah, I think you are jealous.
Yeah. Obviously.
For somebody who drinks that much and doesn't hit his wife, I know you want to.
Yeah. Alcohol helps me put the boxing gloves down. Yeah. So what else happened this week?
Man, they only can jack off with their fucking memory, dude.
That's gotta be rough.
That's the rough, dude.
But if you don't know, like Pornhub,
No,
how rough it you still know. You're like, there are guys
You
out
see
there
enough
just
of,
with everything.
If there's a fucking McDonald's in the goddamn wilderness, you've seen enough porn.
Well, that too.
That Romschling, and you always find the porn in the woods.
Yeah.
So it's all the Amish people putting it out there. That's what it is.
Hey, shout out, if you're a person putting porn out in the woods for a midnight,
respect. You go out to like one of their like areas they live, and you just set up a place in the woods, and then
Just a little stand.
little tissues, little
Just run off and jerk off like behind a tree real quick, throw it down, run off. I have said.
talking about jacking off.
business.
Talking about jacking off in the woods.
Yeah, here we go.
So that was
That's how you
part
get
of
a
the.
splinter.
That was part of the thing, like in the.
You had to yell some other dude's name as you were jacking off.
That was the weirdest part. Like, you had to use your dad's name actually. That's what we made it. No, yeah, it's cool. We would make them set up their own camp, which is really funny because sometimes they would be like shitheads. Like I worked with like 13-year-old to like 18-year-olds, and sometimes they would be can I say they're like wiggers, dude? They were like white Canadians who thought they were
I understand what the white part is for the word. What's the rest of that word from?
So they thought they were like crazy cool and like selling drugs out of their house.
Right.
And they got.
And then their parents sent them to.
And so that was some of them. It just wasn't weirdly. Maybe that was just while the time that I spent there. There was because they were there for longer. It wasn't like you were in and out. It was like because sometimes you were court mandated anyway. What's funny about it is like they would sometimes try to be hard. Be like, I don't want to do what you fucking tell me to do. And then it's just like natural consequences happen.
Yeah,
so we'll just be like, okay, you don't want to set up your camp tonight? And they'd be like, no, fuck you, you just suck my dick, you little cunt fucking nigga bitch. And it's just like, fuck.
Right.
They would be dropping, and it was very inappropriate. So we would have to teach, and it was.
I remember that night they got eaten by a bear.
No, they just it would rain,
maybe
and they wouldn't put up the tarp, and so then all their shit would get completely soaked, and they would be like crying in the middle of the night, and they would just be like, "Dude, there's nothing to do. You didn't set up your tent." It was a very powerful lesson of natural consequences, right?
I like that.
Maybe somebody just smacked the black off them.
No, I know that was
like a 3-6 Mafia song. Smack the black off your.
Because that's something.
Shout out 3-6.
That's something mothers would threaten a lot, and maybe it happened a few times. Yeah, that's all I'm saying is, it's.
Okay, back to the comedy review portion of the show.
So Tuesday, I did a challenge. Mike, what about you, man? What did you do on Tuesday?
I think I did Roscoe's and didn't
How
get
was
called.
it? You didn't get called, so you just give up? Give up on comedy?
I didn't have my car, so I was like, fuck it.
What about you, Mr. Nathan? What did you do on Tuesday?
Any other big things happened this week besides Mothership?
No, that Mothership was big, and then I
did Shakespeare's.
I met
we did Shakespeare's on Monday night.
Yeah, Shakespeare's on Monday night. That's where that's going. That's like a cool variety show. It's fun to like see D Madness play music.
Right.
Yeah, at the end of the
You
night.
can sing with him if you want or whatever. I saw people doing
What
shit
does he
like that.
play? Does he just play
Whatever.
the bass? Or?
He has the bass, the piano. He's like a little tambourine on his foot. All sorts of different things.
Yeah, he's super
He didn't mean
talented.
to. Someone just glued it on the blind guy.
He stepped on the way up there, actually.
And no one told. It was like toilet paper. No one told him.
He can totally like hear something and then start playing it like immediately. Super talented
That's
guy.
crazy.
Super cool guy too. I think he likes doing what he's doing for the love of the game. Like he likes having people up and hearing what they have to say, and I think he just wants to keep the party rolling after Kill Tony's, which is really respectable, like to me. He just
And it's good for us.
Which is, where I kind of fucked up because I showed up at the mothership and talked about how I snuck weed hits the whole time and almost got kicked out, and then how we could only count how many black people were in the crowd during the mothership. And
My co-host, everyone.
the only black person that was he was on stage with me, but he couldn't see the black people either, so he didn't know. I was telling him there was only 2 or 3
What
there.
if in D Madness's mind, he's like, this whole room's black people.
Well,
It's all my people.
He actually did. He did a song before I went up there called "Colorblind" about how you shouldn't look at people's colors.
Yeah, that was a banger too.
So, yeah,
he dropped a banger.
And then you're like,
yeah,
I'm gonna do the exact opposite.
yeah. So
He also reads the room. It was like late night, like 1 a.m., right? And so like people are drunk or they're getting drunk, you know? And so he pulls a little like open mic sing along, and
Oh, that's not bad.
it crushed.
Yeah, I like
he
that.
totally nailed it. He's a very in the moment artist who's been doing it. I don't know how long D Man has been doing it, but
Probably long as time.
god dang, that boy know how to play.
Yeah.
And then Thursday we had the Machine premiere.
yeah, Wednesday.
I haven't seen that. Are you guys Kreischer lovers? You guys love Kreischer?
It was fun. I mean, it was a fun.
I really liked his.
Wait, you guys went to LA? Like you went to?
Oh,
the
no,
premiere?
No. But it just so happens that like we went to the premiere where the Creek in the Cave was. Like the people from the Creek in the Cave, other comics were there. There was
There was a
people.
good group
Yeah.
pre-gaming in the parking lot.
That was
Okay.
interesting. Yeah.
Pre-gaming Kreischer's movie. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
I
like
don't care enough about it.
his stand-up for me has been pretty hit or miss. And then I really liked his recent one. Razzle Dazzle I thought was really good.
As somebody who writes all the time and performs new jokes all the time, I really cannot appreciate living off the same material. And I say this about people who have the same 15 minutes. I say it about people who do, so if now he's made a movie about the fucking same.
I do think this
yeah.
would be a nice way for him to retire that.
Of
bit.
courit's
It's like, now I made the movie. I'm not going to
It's
do
over.
the Machine story anymore. Like,
You
do
have
it,
the
do it
movie,
like
yeah.
Ron White does with the tater salad. Just
Yeah,
like
once it
very
came out,
sparing
yeah.
for like special.
Yeah.
But he's gonna take his shirt off still,
Yeah.
regardless. So
That was funny. So we went to like a special, like they did like a live shot of the premiere. Which first off, it starts and all you see is people just like milling around for like 15 minutes.
oh god, they did a terrible job live.
Can I
live
take a piss? Is it
editing
gonna
this.
ruin
Yeah,
it?
go
I-
Well, I mean, he is in the middle of a story,
No,
but
well,
if you
don't
want-
take a piss. I'll tell the audience how the movie was.
Well, he obviously doesn't give a fuck about this.
I'm thinking about how I have to piss. I can't listen to a good movie. review
Go
if
piss.
I have to
Go
piss.
piss.
Well, you're gonna miss it
What
either
kind of
way. Anyways,
Down to the back.
yeah, it's over there to the right.
I did like the one.
Back right corner.
Who was the guy throwing up? Was that the Creek in the Cave guy?
Who was throwing up?
One of the guys, right when I got there, they were like closing down. We did the shot, and then they were closing down the table. And like one of the guys was like, "Give me a second," and just walked over and started yakking. in
I
the
missed
grass.
it.
And then, well, someone I told you or Kellen, and they were like, "No, he was just spilling his drink because he was done." I was like, "No, he was throwing up." Like, yeah, he was spilling his drink out of his guts.
They pre-gamed way before
too
I got
hard.
there.
Yeah.
Like they got there at 6 o'clock. I
Yeah.
got there like at 6:30, and they were already pretty lit. They had there were a lot of open bottles already, and then they brought liquor in with them. And I know one of the guys passed out in there, so like yeah, there was a lot of fuckery to begin with. But
Well, what did you think of the not him on stage talking, but all the like red carpet shit they showed us? That
Yeah.
was all pre-retarded, right?
yeah, that was dumb as fuck because they had no. There
There was no context, and there was no like.
There was no direction.
Right.
There was no. Hey, let's run through this real quick. Or
Well,
hey,
it was just like his feature act was asking silly questions.
tell us what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
There's no. Give us a game plan of hey, let's do this so I can have somebody there
Right.
at those stations because there's like 7 or stations and we only saw 2, maybe
Yeah.
3 of them, and yeah, they were all.
Well,
yeah.
or you could because they clearly didn't. They had stuff cut in from earlier because it went from like Bird at axing to him at playing flip cup to him interviewing. I was like, he's not bouncing back that quick.
Yeah.
But also because they had him bawling his fucking eyes out and then immediately cut to him at the interview. I was like, he's not crying anymore, so that's
Yeah, that was obviously
clearly not,
pre-recorded. Yeah.
But that was weird. Watch it. So Tom Segura showed up, and then Bert just started crying his fucking ass off. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's good to have good friends. The guy has really powerful friends. So there has to be something there. You don't get cool friends if you suck.
Yeah, but even still, if my buddy, I got my bachelor party coming up, and my buddy's a Green Beret, so he's like, I got sniper training that week, and I might not make it, but, if he shows up, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, this means so much. I'm just going to be like,
You can't really snipe in front of a sniper either.
I'm also not crying in front of a Green Beret.
Yeah,
who's been trained in 30 ways to fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Maybe it would mean a lot to him.
If I started crying.
Yeah.
Or if he starts crying, like pussy.
Well, that's funny. In his training, he almost got kicked out 2-3 times, which I guess is pretty standard, because it's tough.
Yeah.
But one of the times he almost got kicked out was because they were hiking through the mountains, and he slipped and fell into poison ivy and was just covered head to toe in poison ivy, and his asshole was bleeding and stuff. And they're like, yeah, you probably can't continue the course. So maybe I was like, dude, you
got poison ivy so bad he got kicked out.
He had a allergic reaction to, or it was hard to breathe and shit like that. They're like, we're gonna have to stop. And I was like, dude, you almost died from poison ivy. I don't think the terrorists are quaking in their boots right now from you.
Yeah.
No, that's
Especially a sniper. There's gonna be
he's
shit
gonna be
on
a
the ground.
paramedic. It's just the more training.
Oh, he's doing sniper training.
Yeah, the more training you go through, the more you get paid per month.
Did you do a sniper training for yours?
absolutely not.
So he'll be bandaging people up and
just in case.
Yeah. So he's done underwater shit, all that, because it's free and it's cool to fucking learn, and your paycheck goes up.
Wow. So every one of those little badges on your
yeah. And he likes
little stars. Yeah, it's fun. So what's up, man?
Nothing. I'm thinking about, dude.
You do any other comedy besides Monday?
No, I didn't do any comedy besides Monday. I've been writing some new jokes. I've been trying to get. Can I tell you guys this one I've been trying to work on?
Sure.
I want to hear yours.
Oh yeah, this is the best place to run new material. Will you do that?
Oh, somebody kill me,
You
please!
just love when you fucking.
Somebody kill me, please!
Yeah, now we don't get paid.
Go ahead, run your show.
So there's one way we don't make any money off of.
I'm gonna kill myself!
Why are all
I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault!
He's so happy.
He's so happy. Yeah. I feel like I fucked up when I was telling them. Is that what's going on?
No,
I don't know
no.
what's going on.
Okay.
No,
Tell your joke.
Tell
So
us.
yeah, what basically
Let the world know that you're writing new jokes, and this is it right here.
the Keelong River in Taipei.
Okay.
They held the world.
This is a great premise already. I love it. When you have to start with a geography explanation on a joke, this is the best. Okay, go on.
Stuff,
Yeah.
So they held the largest tug of war to ever happen.
Okay.
And there was 800 people on each side, and they had a 5-centimeter nylon rope. And I don't know science, but the rope broke, and the torsion release flew back, and I think it ripped the man's arms off, the guy who was on the front.
Yeah.
And imagine walking into a bar and seeing a guy with no arms. And I have no shame, as you can tell, right? So I'll ask him how he lost his arms, right? So I walk up, hey man, can I buy you a drink? Yeah, sure, go ahead. I have to ask, man, how'd you lose your arms? And he looks you dead in the face and goes, tug of war. And then you'd laugh at his face. So the most tragic thing of this man's life is not the fact that he lost his arms to a field game. It's that now forever he has to tell a story where people laugh in his face.
I think you could cut out the geography.
I tried. In Bernie, I just went with. In Bernie,
guy
I just went with.
arms
I was in a
yeah.
bar. I was in a bar and I saw a guy with no arms and I asked him how he lost them. I went right to it.
Yeah, I think that's better.
But I got my feedback that night from one of my friends and another random person I talked to because obviously I brought it up to a random person.
This is a 9-year comic, just so you know.
I respect it.
I don't have to. You're not have to.
No. I
Just from random guys in bars and your
Can
friends.
I tell you what they said?
You can tell me what they said.
They said they were it was too quick on the arms guy. They were like, you didn't build they were like, why were you talking to an armless guy in the bar?
Well, I think what you need to do is
There's two things.
Go ahead.
I would say you have the premise in your mind. So know that when you're setting up something different. Shock us with the no arms guy.
Yeah.
You know, give us
With
a
giving the
twist.
history first, I give you the joke too early, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we know it's coming.
we know that.
We know
Right.
we know the whole thing's coming the whole time.
Like if we know what he's gonna respond.
yeah.
I feel like the delivery is part of it.
Right.
So if you're like, man, I've seen guys lose their arms and like hunting acts, just like if you give us like bear traps,
That way.
they set up
That way,
with something else, and then all of a sudden the joke is tug of war.
Or if like you ran into him at a VFW and you were like,
Yeah.
"Yo, man, like,
Bring
hey,
in the war aspect.
did
Yeah,
you like,
yeah.
did they get blown off or what?" I was like, "No, tug of war." What?
That-
And then you can do the whole backstory,
Yeah.
and then you throw a joke.
you can figure out jokes
Then
there.
I'm just talking about the backstory.
No. Then then you throw another joke on there.
Yeah,
Then give us another joke to
He's
go with
not going
it.
to be tugging anymore, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
because you don't need the nylon thing for sure.
know.
Because all you need is the rope snaps.
I know. But sometimes it's, do you ever
I
think,
do kind of like the science thing. Though.
do you ever think that you can like, pull people in when you're just like talking, and if you say things that are real instead of just like umming or
I
like,
always recommend that be as personal story.
cut the fat. Yeah.
So if it's like because it's not personal, it's very rare and hard to pull them in on a long story. But if you're like my dad,
I don't want to make it long. I
Yeah.
don't want to make it long. I want to try to. So I'm trying to find out which way works.
The fast punch,
think it's
and
something was there,
then you can tell us the history after. I think.
Right.
Yeah. And then give us another joke.
At the end of the
yeah,
day.
and then be like, this guy just sneaks into VFWs to get free beer.
Yeah. Nobody asks
Because-
questions
yeah,
except for
no
me
one's-
apparently.
yeah. No one's gonna call out the guy with no arms.
Yeah. There you
He's
go.
got an eye patch
Yeah.
on. He's wearing like a
Yeah.
very decorated green. He's like drinking out of a crazy like a little like.
Well, maybe
crazy-
that's
My question is, how does he get fucking dressed?
That's a great question. And double amputee.
yeah. Be like, yo, you're wearing a button up.
This is kind of a double amputee joke, and I'm not making fun of you at all. I want to know that I love all the double.
Does he
amputees
caterpillar
out
it
there.
in? Like, do
You
you like
love it more
cocoon
than the
it?
single amputees.
No, the same love.
If
Same
you have a missing limb, call in. Big Tex
It's not
loves
like-
you.
It's not an exponential.
188 Big
more
Tex,
love, more
5.
love for each
Any
arm.
transgenders that went through the surgery, Big Tex loves you.
I bet they have a lot.
Just dial 188 Big Tex 3.5.
I would love to hear how they get dressed.
Well, there used to be
They would
like
love to tell us too. I bet they have a lot of creative ways.
there also used to be like hotlines for that. Like be like, oh, you're having a bad day, call us up and we'll say something nice
And
to you.
I
Like in the '90s, like
Yeah,
$1.99 a
I
minute.
remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that actually. With Fruitopia, you call in with your Fruitopia.
Hey.
You get 10 cents off.
And then, like, the one who hears about the bad day the most is the fucking AT&T operator who has to hear about the fucking bill.
Yeah.
You complain about your bad day for $1.99, and they're doing it for free now.
dude, I was on the phone with help for Verbo today, and the lady just did not understand the question I was asking. And I eventually was just like, this guy's trying to fuck me. Can you tell me how he's fucking me so I can respond? And they're like, she's like, I don't know what that means. I was like, I know you don't get like colloquial metaphors in India that make any fucking sense.
There's a man in your ass right now, sir?
Someone's fucking your butthole? Do I have to call someone?
Call Big Tex.
All of a sudden, 911 shows up at my
1-800-2.2.
apartment. I was like, hey, we heard someone was raping you. I was like, no,
That's soft, though.
that's soft. Yeah. You couldn't handle it, bro?
So the war joke would tie into another one.
Yeah.
So a guy at work wants to get breasts on his wrists, like one of my firefighters, because he thinks he's like, dude, if he's like a minion knight tomorrow, or if like
He can still tit
the
fuck
collapse-
himself?
If ChatGPT takes down the fucking infrastructure, like he wants to have porn on his body.
Does he wants a tattoo of tits?
Yeah, he wants to.
Okay.
To jerk off to?
See, I thought you were. Well,
So
first
let
off,
me ask-
I've been married 2 or 3 years. I'm gonna jerk off to that bitch upstairs, dude. They're real. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like,
I thought you were saying he wants fake breasts, like big, so you could like.
yeah, no kidding. Like, actually use them, be useful.
I mean, we went from transgenders to that, so that's where my head was at. I was like, oh, this is a reach.
That's
but
more
we'll
useful.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wants a tattoo of breasts, so he has something to jerk off to.
Right.
He has to make sure he gets it on the right hand.
This is a fire.
We
This
haven't talked about
is
that.
this
So
is
you
a.
want it on the right hand so it shows movement, or your dominant hand, right? Your dominant hand that is doing the jacking off. Do you put it on there so that way it has like you get a little movement
jiggle?
tattoo? Yeah.
Or you want it like a dead
You want a
chick.
spotlight. I feel like to where you're not looking at your dick the whole time.
That's interesting. That's not bad. That's got legs.
So you have
There's
to,
something there.
You have to figure out which one. And then I was thinking, like, I bet if you did have breasts, like people have had like nudes tattooed on their body for
Yeah.
a long time. Like imagine being in World War II, like before the internet. and you had like breasts on your calf.
All the guys are coming up to jerk off to your calf.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, Timmy, get in here before you." But like, I bet they would keep you alive.
Yeah,
Like,
we have to save him at all costs.
That's how Danny Trejo made it through prison. He had that woman on his chest the whole
shit.
So they
time.
would beat it too.
Well, that's who everybody.
Everyone
That's
else
who everybody
did.
came on.
Just wearing a hockey guard and.
She had her tits out the whole time in prison. Yeah, that's how he makes
I
it.
don't want Danny Trejo trying to fucking kill me, bro.
He's
I
old.
got enough problems
He's
in my
old.
life.
I don't think Danny Trejo is a.
He makes donuts now and tacos.
Yeah, he seems like a non.
He uses the prison recipe. He makes
Yeah.
donuts. He
So
turned his toilet into a deep fryer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put those together. Who are your influences?
All the good ones. Doug Stanhope,
good ones.
Norm McDonald.
Okay, Norm, I get a little.
Bill Cosby before I found out he was rapey.
After you found out, really?
I never listened to his stuff, and then
Oh yeah, I became
no
a
such
fan.
thing as bad advertising.
Like, I became a fan after. Like, how do you get 24 chicks in just to talk to you first off, let alone like have a drink with
I
you?
can't believe there hasn't been a comic who's just ripped all this stuff and just does Cosby
Nah, 'cause
materials.
They know it's so good, they know it.
Well, it's like
I remember being in a Barnes and Nobles when I was like, I don't know, 11, and like I got to buy myself a Bill Cosby CD. Yeah, and my mom had shown me Bill Cosby CDs before, you know, and they made me laugh so hard.
it's so crazy how hard it's gonna be to explain like these life-changing moments to kids, being like, I went to Sam Goody's to get a CD, and they're like, "What's Sam Goody's? What's a CD?"
Oh,
like,
yeah,
and it's like, bro, the amount of like my dad, it was like, yeah, we had ice cream. I was like, oh, I know what ice cream is.
We're doing
Yeah.
an old right now. How old's Chad's fucking dinosaur? We're old Chad's. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah,
I think he might be the
Crypt
youngest
Keeper
here.
over here.
probably, but he looks like the oldest. Though,
Yeah.
you know, well shot out.
Too much time in the woods, not making his tent.
He's seen a lot of things on the road.
It's aged him.
Well, it's not sleeping. I think isn't there a science behind that?
Not
they
sleeping.
checked.
Yeah.
They checked like.
I sleep
responders.
all the time.
I don't ever sleep.
You don't look. You look. Fucking.
Just throw some moisturizer on, man. You look great.
I never wash my face. I don't ever wash my face.
I don't wash my face.
You
I do it
you
in the
look like
shower.
a boss, like
Yeah.
vampire, like the vampire king that everyone like hates, you know, and who's not supposed to look attractive, like the one that you're like want to hate. But you do have.
You
a nice
actually would make
strong-
a good vampire.
You'd be
I would
a-
cast you
You'd
as
be a
that.
you're a vampire.
You'd have to
king.
clean this up
You're a
with
vampire
the
king.
goatee and the hair.
I say that. With
I would
love.
do that.
I say that with love. You're a vampire king for sure.
I went much nicer. I went casting director. You're in.
Yeah. All right.
If only they were doing Underworld still.
But enough about that. Sorry.
Okay.
You should watch Nate Bargatze.
I do love.
Okay.
Nate. I like Nate Bargatze a lot. Yeah, Tom Segura's obviously Russian.
I think with your
I really like
delivery.
I never know his name. Well, who's that though? I don't want to sound ignorant right now.
It's
my
okay.
my favorite.
I sound ignorant all the time.
Dude, I know earlier when I was telling that story,
Especially
I
when
did
you
not
do,
mean
Jack.
to. I did not mean to drop the N-bomb. It was like that kid would
It was
do
my
all the
favorite
time.
part of the podcast we've ever had.
Dude,
We couldn't even get Bilal to say that word. So
the kid, I was thinking about the kid. The kid would try to say things that were offensive and like
Right.
on purpose, and that's the most offensive, obviously.
I think my favorite thing is that you barreled right through it,
I
and then it was like 20 seconds after you're like, yeah, I know what I just
I'm
did.
sitting with that.
You're like, I'm gonna finish
How
the
many
story.
people saw that? How many people?
Nah, right now 0.
Well,
We had 30, and then they all dropped off for some
We
reason.
had
I don't
4
know.
reactions so far.
and they're all at the exact same point.
30
What the
before,
fuck?
30 before I told that story. They hopefully.
Yeah, there were 30, and then they heard a white guy drop that N-word, and they're like,
No, is that true?
no, I don't have the computer in front of me.
Is that true, Chad?
I asked my Yingling bottle to. I'm like
Or
a.
I'm gonna try to rattle this off. Kumal Nanjiani, dude. He fucking
he's good.
crushes, dude. He's
Yeah.
so fucking funny.
Chicago baby.
Oh my god, he's hilarious. I love that dude.
This movie was really good. I'm kind of bummed out that he got jacked. I was like, I want you to make more movies like that.
I'm happy that he got Jack. Good for
Yeah.
him. Oh, that's great.
I mean, he's good in Eternals.
Talk about delivery. I think his delivery is hilarious. He's one of those like he has a little.
Has he done anything recent, stand-up wise?
I haven't
I don't think so.
because
Because he's done the Chippendales
Dude, he did
and
Mar-
Eternals.
He got Marvel money. He's probably in the creative process just like us, where he
Yeah.
doesn't have funny. So he's probably just like.
Well, and he has
I
to
make
work
my
out
money.
3 times a day.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think he's like going to be. Is he going to be like? I don't know. What's
Well,
the-
there's Eternals 2 coming out. So, or at least there was before the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see what happens with all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of because Blade was about to start filming, and then what's his face was like, I hate this fucking script. Get me a new script, and the writer's strike started, so they don't know what they're gonna do because they could still plow forward with what it is.
So, did you do any comedy this week, Zach?
I don't think I did, bro.
No.
I think I just went and saw the machine and said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it to the career.
Yeah.
The Monday and Sunday is so rough on.
Tonight's a mic though, right?
Yeah. I'm going to do saying.
Well, I've just been working so hard on getting this new business going. It's been.
I've been barking too for Roscoe's.
Okay, since we have to talk about how you met, dude. Can't do it.
Can't do it. We'll talk about it after when the cameras are down. Unless it's like, well, we were fucking Zach's fiance.
Let me tell you right now. Can we pause the cameras?
No, it's live. We're live streaming, man.
Tell me how you met me. Tell me that story.
Yeah.
It was an hour ago.
Why don't you tell us a story about how you met somebody who's worth talking about? Like, what have you met anybody famous? What do you got going, man?
No,
He was first responder at Tina Turner's house. I'm sure.
Well, that's kind of how we met. He bought the Narcan kit.
I can't say due to HIPAA but I did.
You really can't?
I really can't.
That's
but
insane.
I did work on someone's child that was very famous in wilderness therapy.
Yeah, being
I
fuck him
can't
up.
say. Yeah, thank God I have enough with where
Tom Hanks' son.
Yeah.
Dude, have we been following that by the way?
Colin Hanks?
Chad Hanks is wilded out. Dude.
Also a white guy who is more than comfortable saying that word.
Is that crazy that, like, how can you have, like, a Colin Hanks and a Chad Hanks?
That's insane.
Yeah, right?
What was their house like growing up?
Yeah, like, that dude, like,
Terrible.
Obviously.
like, one's obviously untalented, you know?
Yeah,
And
I
then-
love Colin Hanks.
And then
I think
Chad.
in Fargo, he's so good and stuff.
Yeah, Colin, he figured it out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was an easier path. Like, when your dad's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Like,
But the other guy's dad's Tom Hanks.
Yeah. And
yeah,
he's
like,
like, I'm
he
going
just sucks.
Yeah.
to talk like a Jamaican.
It just goes to show you. I don't think it was. It was because he didn't get strawberries after dinner. I don't think it was his fruit intake. All the parents out there are stressing about how you're raising your kid. It's really luck of the draw. If your kid's a Chet, your kid's a Chet. And you're gonna have to just pay a lot of money in lawyers.
Yeah, that's a shitty thing. But he's like,
That is so wild.
somehow how his dad's like part of the Illuminati and shit, though, right? Like,
Right.
Well,
Well,
kids.
people say that he's on the Epstein list.
Yeah.
And by people, I mean me in one of my bits. So
Yeah, I think.
throwing that out there, Tom, if you want to come at me.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Lawsuit from Tom Hanks.
And then our one viewer.
Does he love it? Does he love hearing about me telling Tom Hanks
Hey,
fuck
shout
kids?
out one kid. Are you drinking Sierra Nevada Pale Ale too?
Yeah.
Are you a big IPA guy?
I do like IPAs. I wouldn't say no one wants to admit to that. No.
Go to California.
I'm not
a lot of
big
people
IPA
love
guy.
to admit to it.
I grew up drinking them, so
Okay.
it's a taste I'm accustomed to. And it's also like I'm not trying to pound. Like I can pound through some light beers. Right. And so it's like it's sometimes nice.
That's a little speed bump.
Have a little space. Yeah, have a little speed bump beer. Exactly right. You get it.
But I'm drinking since I was 13. I get
Dude,
it.
I recently did a stint of sobriety.
How was
and
that?
It was awesome.
Did you do it out in the woods where you had to call people's names?
No, I did it.
See, Chad was upset about that detail. That's been my favorite thing I've heard this whole podcast. That this man, adult man, had to yell out another man's name while taking a piss.
No. The kids had to do that.
Even better.
Yeah. So the kids had to call your name out when they're taking a piss.
They didn't call my name out when they were taking
And a few of the white kids were just yelling the N-word
See
while
how-
taking a piss.
It was a Pokemon moment. They had to yell their own name out.
Nice.
I completely understand that saying the N-word is inappropriate. I was in character. Don't fucking crucify me for that, please.
Once again, it's live, so.
But, I mean, we don't have a single comment on it yet, so that's good. No one was
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker.
Well, I can't get back to that. I might lose him.
That shit's so funny.
There it is.
All right. Anyway, what did you ask him? Did we ever talk about how much the movie wasn't great?
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, there were some stupid moments. Like there were supposed to be like funny moments, but there was a lot of stupid moments.
Well, I felt too they stepped on a lot of the jokes, which was very unfortunate.
In the movie?
Yeah, like they would like cut too quick. Like they wouldn't let the audience laugh. They'd have this big joke and then immediately have like an action thing happen or something. I was like, oh, I was trying to laugh at that thing that just happened, and now someone's getting shot in the face. Like,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Speaking of, there was some interesting like death scenes, but
right. I mean, the one was very funny, but it was also in the trailer.
did you guys
where
see
he shoots
John
the
Wick
3
4
guys.
or what?
What?
Did you guys see John Wick 4?
I did. So
you-
I took.
but
Do
you
you
had
know Kellen?
we're gonna hear this every podcast.
Yeah,
Oh, we got 2 viewers
It's my
right now.
favorite story.
Yeah.
They're gonna love it.
Tell
Do you
me
know
about
Kellen?
it, right? Do I know which one?
Kellen Glaw?
No.
Okay.
That just sounds like a
Helen Glaw?
mumble
Yeah.
of letters.
I've been telling him to not use that last name on stage.
Or first name.
Yeah. Just a normal name.
KG.
Yeah.
If anyone needs to
Kevin
be called,
Garnett, baby.
if anyone needs to be called Big Texas, it's Kevin.
He could be Little Tex. He kind of looks
Kelly
like
Law.
So he did kill Tony, and then he like didn't get Secret Show or anything. I was like, "You bummed out?" He was like, "I don't like to think of it that way. Ask me tomorrow. I try to keep like even keel on it." I was like, "All right." And then like a couple days go by, we go see John Wick 4, and halfway through the movie, he's like, "Zach?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I am sad. I am sad." I think it's like, what the fuck?
In the middle of
Like John Wick just killed 30 people, and you're like, "I could be vulnerable now."
Not the time, brother.
Did he say anything during the machine here?
He asked me. Yeah, he actually halfway through the movie, he just goes, "Do you think RFK will be a good candidate for the Democrats?" I was like, "Yeah, man. I'm sure he'll be fine. I don't fucking."
Oh, wow.
That's what I wanted to bring up. He also knew I was pretty fucking plastered.
Yeah, this is the time to talk to you.
Yeah.
It was during movies. When you have your full attention, your phone's not out,
Fucking Bert Kreischer just got kicked off the train. He's like, "Do you think RFK is going to do okay for the Democrats?" I was like, "I don't know, man.
Damn.
I don't want to have a political discussion right now."
Yeah,
He's like 23. Why is he even talking politics anyways?
I don't know.
Dude,
he
you don't...
spends half his day trying to get pussy. What do you care?
Why are you trying to vote right now?
Yeah.
Like, by the time you're old enough to vote, there will be no more voting.
Yeah.
Just stop.
That would be for the best. I think we should change that voting age to 30, so you have those years of just
The voting age should be...
endlessly trying to
They'd
get
have
pussy.
more power. No.
The voting age should be the people who vote, the 60-year-old people who fucking try to change things.
It's been a game for a long time. You have to use the younger generation to like once something's really fucked up, you have to rile them up to vote for your cause.
Yeah,
Like,
they
you
still
can't take-
rock.
Oh, it's funny. They still don't vote.
They throw
Oh,
rocks.
that's why they have to have the ability to vote. Though, if you rile them up enough, they have to have a vote.
Yeah, well, they get felonies and they can't vote ever again. That's what happens.
Fuck yeah.
Not all of the young kids get felonies. There's a lot of young kids out there.
There is. Every day
Big
there's
Texas
new ones.
holding back saying, "Just the black ones."
God damn it. That's not true at all.
This the white. What'd
I
you
have
call? What'd you
no
call the white kid? What was that word?
Well, yeah.
It started with a W. I can't remember.
It's the white version.
What was it? I can't.
Guys, this is the
They were
worst
like
podcast
white guys trying to be gangsters is embarrassing.
It's never good.
It's never good, dude.
Utah.
And especially
Except for when in Utah, it's impossible.
In wilderness therapy, in court mandated wilderness therapy, like you're gonna try to be hard with a bunch of other like skinny, scrawny white.
Well, it's
dudes,
also
dude.
like, say what you will about the Mormons, the top guys in the Mormon church are gangsters. Fuck, they steal $100 million from their people.
Any top guy. Let me tell you something from the fire service. Okay, this is Alan English told me this quote. He's like, anything that you do, it's hard to be the very best one,
Right.
but it's not hard to not be a piece of shit.
It's very inspiring.
I love that. It's so true. And so,
Don't try hard. Just don't be a piece of shit either.
well, it's just not hard to not be a piece of shit. Try hard, obviously, but just don't be a piece of shit.
It might not work out. That's all we're saying.
And if it
Kids
doesn't-
have reasonable expectations. That's all. That's from the he goes into schools and does like the fire safety stuff. He's like, just
We
have
do
reasonable.
that, by the way.
I know you.
It's
do,
fun.
but I didn't know it was you specifically.
yeah.
And you're like, hey kids, just
we have to show them.
Don't shoot too high.
I think the philosophy behind it is we have to show them the gear so they're not scared
Scared of it.
and they run away. They try to stay in the fire longer. I'd rather die by fire. I think they'd run.
Stay in the fire longer. I'm coming to you.
No. We don't want. Yeah, we don't want them to hide.
Yeah, I got
You
you.
understand?
Yes.
It's a dumb philosophy though because the kids were not going to stay. They're gonna run to who, and they're just gonna trust that you're not evil.
Well, it's
Even though I sound like Darth Vader, that's the biggest thing. They're like, bring up the Darth Vader thing. They always say that, like, bring up the Darth Vader things. You got to make sure the kids
Like,
understand.
who's Darth Vader?
Yeah,
the kids don't even know.
Why are you telling me this? Yeah, that's just old. That's his old man.
Yeah.
That's because there's not a woman involved.
You grew up in Texas or Utah?
Yeah, no, I for sure grew
Texas,
up in
okay.
Texas. Yeah, I just worked there after.
Did you
college.
have a ton of military come to your high school and try and recruit you?
No, I went to a private school actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was one of those because my brother was really.
They don't let them
drug
in
sensitive.
there.
Yeah.
Don't,
these
save that for
kids
the
have
poor
a future.
kids.
We weren't rich actually. That was the unfortunate part. My mom just.
Because you
was
pay for
rich.
private school.
Well, in Texas, you probably get a voucher.
I think we had a little bit of help, and we also just my mom was terrified that I was going to follow my brother down the path of
Being an EMT.
exploration of, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't that it was anything bad. But yeah.
He's just like, my brother's gay, okay? My mom was not happy.
He's a sexual deviant.
No, I remember the military guy came to our school my junior year and senior year because I think you can sign up when you're 16.
Okay.
And then you just can't be
They
active
brought
till
the
18.
pull-up bar out. They're like, let's see who's.
Well,
got
they
what.
were, yeah, they did like weird, but they
put it up.
Regardless, first off, during wartime, we were still in Iraq, and
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, just come join the military. It's cool, like see the world, all that bullshit.
And to some people, that is a great
Yeah, it
escape.
is, yeah.
One of my best friends, Arthur Davila, he went overseas. He did 2 tours in Iraq, and he actually did some like heavy shit. He was just a grunt,
Yeah.
but he like went far, and like actually, a couple of his brothers died, which saddens me because I think it still saddens him.
Yeah.
He's a really great guy. I love the dude, and he's working with us. Anyway, shout out to all the people who do go
Military.
over and fight our
Yeah.
battles. Like it is real. It's not.
Yeah, that's not where I was going. I was
I
not
know,
going
but
to be like,
I
fuck
took
that.
I'm a 4 year. Now they try to recruit.
Shout out Dov.
I did. I took the ASVAB and everything, and
Yeah.
they told me I scored really high on it and all that. But I ended up dropping out of I didn't like drop out. I just didn't go back to school. I just I started dating chicks.
Yeah.
And just said fuck this. And so they're like, you have to be in school to get in the military. I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to.
No,
do
I'm
either.
out.
I don't want
Yeah.
to do either one of those now. Now I'm thinking about it. I really like pussy now, so I don't really think I want to go shoot people. And they're like, well, if you drop out of school, you can't do this. I'm like, fine. And come to find out, my school graduated me. Like, I found out all these years later. I've been lying on all these applications.
Saying
I thought
you
I was
graduated?
lying. Yeah, I graduated because who's going to check?
Yeah.
High school graduation.
Well, that's what I say to people who get their MBA.
Some
I was like,
people-
no one's checking.
Nobody's checking that shit at all.
Yeah.
Some people check
For what?
a job.
Abbott Labs does not check. So if you
You
want
guys
to
are sitting at home being like, I wonder why I didn't get that. The interview went well. I wonder what it was. Because you lied on your fucking shit.
No.
They definitely check. It's not hard to check.
no one's calling Chapman to
But
see if
anyways,
I got my
but
MBA.
they did say that I graduated though, so they actually put down
nice.
that I graduated. So I could have joined the military, but
Is that your story right now? You could have joined the
no, I didn't
military?
want to. I didn't want to at all.
Christ, ChadO. Okay, cool.
But yeah, I found out all these years that they gave me an honorary degree because they didn't want to get the mark
It's
on
very
there.
weird that they call it an honorary degree for someone who dropped out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he fucked up, but we're still gonna hand him to it.
Because they didn't want the mark on their yeah.
Well, they wanted to say that they graduate X%
Yeah,
of
yeah.
kids. So, anyways, where I was going.
They want me
is-
being a statistic.
So the next year, I went to school in California and was in a fraternity, and they bring in a lady to talk about hazing and how horrible it is,
Okay.
and like don't do it, and blah blah blah, and like very dumb. It's like a kid drowned.
Did you get hazed, bro?
Oh yeah, of course, it's fun. But like a kid drowned. They bring in a movie, and some kid drowned because he didn't know how to swim, and they were like, "You have to swim across this pond," and I was like, "Yeah, just don't. If you don't know how to swim, like."
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Well, that's funny that you bring that up. We have drownings a lot.
Yeah. Well, it
and it's
happens. A
all
lot of
because-
people do.
Dude, it's like the Canyon Lake.
Especially in Lady Bird Lake.
Are they wearing their clothes most of the time though? Like when they drown? Like,
It depends.
Oh, really?
It really is wild. It really is wild.
Yeah.
That so many people who don't know how to swim drown every year because they go out on a boat.
Well, like my
And then when they're out on the boat, they get drunk or stoned
Yeah.
or inebriated in some fashion. And then they're
Jump
like, I just
in or
want to
something.
hop in, cool
Yeah.
off because it gets hot, right? And then they're just like in a bunch of boats and then they get lost. It's crazy to me how they don't handle it better.
well, it's like my
It's like if you're hot, just go like, hold on, because you don't know how to swim.
Right.
So you're not jumping off the bow, right?
my buddies.
We don't know how it happens. It's like they think it's like a weird monster is what we contributed to.
I saw a video of a guy getting his foot cut off.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. That was a rough one.
Yeah, where he just
If you,
he
well,
stepped on
that's
the
what
prop.
if you don't know how to swim, don't get on a boat. My buddy's wife
Yeah.
doesn't know how to swim. I was like, don't get on a boat. You don't
Even
know
with
about
life
propellers.
jacket,
You don't
even
know
with
about
life
all that.
jacket.
Like, there's a lot going on in the water that you don't
Yeah.
realize.
And
is
it's already
happening.
crowded enough. So if you
Yeah.
don't know how to swim, don't go.
If you put your foot in the wrong place, that's a bad day.
Yeah, and that's like one of those like. It's just like it's like skiing or anything. If you don't know what you're doing, like
Yeah.
there's a bunny slope for you.
Ooh,
There's
who
a
dies
way.
more a year, drownings or skiing?
Drownings.
It's gotta be
No drownings, yeah,
Drownings.
definitely, yeah.
It's not everyone has $500 a day to go skiing.
Can you imagine fighting
And skiing only exists
like for a few
4
months?
months in the year. Very.
You know a tree is just taking someone
Yeah.
out that would just
This-
slap.
Oh yeah.
The snow
no,
thaws
people
out, you're
die.
like, oh, there's
Spread
Jim.
eagle.
Actually, most of them die avalanche because they go like high. Like it's usually pretty good skiers go.
I saw
like
a nasty
bag bowls.
I saw a nasty video of a downhill biker who
Yeah.
was just similar to skiing, right?
Yeah.
And he just like he was going through some
Ate it.
crazy shit and it hit a tree and like he literally had like next to his eyeball through his cheek out like he had a
the
freaking,
branch, yeah.
Oh yeah, like a solid
Jesus.
chunk. So I can
He walked in. He's like, "I got a splinter. What? Does anyone have tweezers?"
I can imagine there's some bits of nasty that we don't even know about.
I mean,
you
like,
know?
leave it in or pull it out. Leave it in or pull it out. What do I do?
Well, nowadays, so many people wear so much protective gear that it's not
Even,
too.
you can
I
get-
know, even still,
yeah.
but Like on a normal run, you're not really good. Like if you're on a blue, you're
Man,
not gonna get fucked up.
we used to build bike ramps in our,
Yeah.
in our street, and like no helmets, no nothing. Like pegs just came out.
That makes
like,
sense, ChadO.
Yeah, I hit the ground a few times.
Yeah.
But,
We know.
yeah.
But
You know, dodgeball,
anyways.
CTE. You guys ever played dodgeball in school? You
Yeah,
guys don't know
for sure.
shit.
I was a dodgeball champion.
Yeah, but with like the brick walls, like in the gym, like where you have to slide into them. You know,
Why were you sliding into a wall in dodgeball?
that's how you do. That's how you get the fuck. That's how you really get through that shit, man. Yeah.
What does that fucking mean? That's how you get through that
Yeah,
shit?
man, you gotta when the ball's coming at you, and you gotta bounce off the wall, do the backflip, throw it back. You know, high school dodgeball. You guys don't know this shit, like Matrix style.
Did you grow up Asian?
You're not
You're doing backflips off walls?
ChadO, you're not doing anything super athletic. Don't lie.
It's like, you guys don't know this, but when I was
guys know
12,
what
I was
high school
Bruce
show?
Lee.
That's how we did it, man.
Shut
We
the
had,
fuck up, dude.
you guys didn't play dodgeball, like
No, we play well in private school. We called it war ball. Okay,
yeah.
first of all,
I can imagine private school dodgeball. That's gotta be yeah. Now I understand the language barrier. No, I played in public school. It's like prison dodgeball.
No, we had a dodgeball tournament at my school, and the guy who started dating my ex got into it. So then I got my team really into it. I was like, we're practicing every day. And it was literally just so I could chuck balls at his face for like a good 5 minutes. That
Now,
was fun.
yeah, we didn't have like a league. It was just like in PE.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. PE class was the worst. That's where all the bullies would come, you know, just hang out, you know.
We had a child molester in RPE, so that was a little worse than bullies.
okay. Can we go weird with it?
Let's go weird.
Why is
He
this
was
guy,
Asian, too.
Why is this guy trying?
Who hires an Asian gym teacher in the
He's
Midwest?
like, hey, I'd really like to be on your podcast. I'm like, this is gonna be a bad.
We're gonna get weird. We're
It's
gonna talk about
it's gonna be-
pedophilia
yeah.
and,
I'm like, dude,
and people without arms.
I'm gonna regret this like immediately. But
What
let's
do you
do
wanna
it.
get weird
Sounds
with?
like I'm interesting. You're welcome.
I've enjoyed it. I'll say that.
I was in elementary school, and I did not realize at the time I was completely
That you
hit
can't
on
say the N-word.
and approached. Of course, I know that.
Of course, I know that.
All right, you were hit on and approached.
We have to talk about it. Are you guys like? Is it like out in the ether? Is it fucked?
The librarian. No, yeah, we can't red band this thing.
What are you worried about? You're not Joe Rogan got away with it. You'll be fine.
I don't. Well, no, because it's not something
And
I ever.
the smash clip is only 3 seconds. His was like 30 minutes. Your smash clip is like 3 seconds worth of it.
I mean, you do have to adopt a black girl now.
Yeah.
So enjoy that.
I don't. It's just like
We
I don't
can,
have
we
the
can do
means.
that after together.
I don't have the means. I legit.
We're a
had-
gay couple. We'll adopt this black kid just to
Let's
protect
call
him.
out. Let's call out where I was. So I work in Canyon Lake, and for a while, when we moved to Texas, my family moved to Texas from California, but I was born here. I was
What
born.
part of California they moved from?
They moved from Julian up north, like Julian,
yeah.
and I forget what's next to it. There's another one that was like San Francisco, I think was
Yeah,
near,
that area.
but like
Bay Area.
I think I don't know California very much, because I was from here.
Right.
So, but at Canyon Lake, I went to Mountain Valley Elementary in Canyon Lake. I also work there now. They had a theater teacher that was there because I obviously was in theater. Like you have to understand, like I was an ugly duckling. Like I haven't always been an asshole who thinks
You haven't had this mustache since you were 12.
Right. Yeah. And it's been a lot of hard work along the way, which I've enjoyed. But their legit was a fucking pedophile, and what he did was like in theater class during Halloween, he would play like super overly scary stories, like not for children. You know, like children,
Yeah.
Halloween should be like
Somewhat scary.
somewhat scary, but like
More
not-
fun trick or treating bullshit.
More fun trick or treating candy. Like there's a bad cartoon of a pumpkin. You know?
Yeah.
But he would put like psychological, like really like you know what I mean, like the Saw type
Okay.
scenarios for like young. I remember.
So he was a pedophile that was also a thinker.
Well, what he would use this tactic was he would make the kids scared, and then when they were scared, they would run to him, and then he would be like, "Oh, you want to sit on my lap?"
Fuck yeah. This guy got
Everybody has that guy.
I like a pedophile with a plan.
Everybody has that guy. So I got in trouble though. I actually got kicked out of the class because I wouldn't sit on his lap. Like I would be like, I don't want to listen to this. And he'd be like, okay, well then come sit over here. And I'd be like, no, I don't want to sit over there either. And he would be like, well then go sit in the hall by yourself. And I would be like, fuck. And I would go sit in the hall by myself because I was just like, I didn't want to fucking listen to this dumbass fucking story. I would be anxious about it all day. I remember this
You're
at
a
a very young
problem.
age.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember this at a very young age. I was anxious about listening. Like everything was cool. Computer class was cool. I remember getting my little choco milk at lunch. That was all good. But the whole day I was fucking worried about motherfucking scary
Pedophile
class.
guy.
Scary class, dude. It was like I don't want to
See,
listen.
my gym teacher
to
just
the
grabbed our
maggots
asses.
eating the. It was like maggots eating the eyeball, heads rolling down, heads rolling like a dog telling a head what to do and
Jesus
killing the
Christ.
fucking owner. It was fucked up shit for my intelligence. And I was just like not into it, dude.
This is what private school gets you.
And so I would tell my dad about it, and my dad obviously at the time he was like an '80s dad, and he was just like, my kid's a pussy. God, you can't handle a little scary story, you know. And then it came out that the guy was a total pedophile, and my dad was like, what? And he was like, shit, dude.
It's like, I'm sorry I verbally abused you all those days you came home from school crying.
Yeah, nah, he just didn't understand, you know.
Did you guys in Texas have there was like it wasn't strictly like ding dong ditching, it was like you put a sign up, you gave them a piece of paper being like you got booed or something, and so you'd have to get like 3 other houses. So it was like nice deed. So
It's like a chain letter for Ding Dong Ditch.
Kind of, yeah. It was kind of like, so it was like you would ding dong ditch a house, but you would drop off like a bag of candy and a piece
That
of
doesn't
paper.
sound like Ding Dong Ditching House at all.
That's
I know,
what I'm saying
very
it for.
nice.
Well, so then it was like,
That
then
doesn't
you
sound
would,
like a prank.
well, it would be like your friend would, so like the poster's like, hey, you got hit by the ghost.
It was reverse Ding Dong Ditch.
Right.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fucking
And then you would have to go do it to 3 other people.
okay.
So yeah, like a chain letter. But
Like a
like, I was
chain
like, I could see that not working in Texas because they just are like, I'm gonna shoot you.
No, we were throwing
so
rocks
far
at cars.
apart.
We were throwing,
Yeah.
dude, me and the neighbors we were throwing rocks at cars. We
Okay.
weren't throwing them at cars. We were trying to the game was to get the rock across.
Just like
before
Kellen.
you
Kellen
hit the
threw
car.
rocks at RVs. So they're basically the same thing.
I don't, that's not real.
But yeah, I could not
We had
see
a creek
Ding Dong
we had a creek with a mattress in it.
So neither of you guys did any comedy this week, and we came to do an ATX comedy review.
We
huh?
tried to do comedy.
No, I did. Wait, what are you talking about?
He did it. He did it
He
Monday.
said, yeah, he did it Monday.
I did Monday. I also met what's his name? Hold on, let me find it. I did the tiniest bar in Texas.
How was that?
It was awesome.
It
was
didn't catch
super
on
cool.
fire this time?
I used to do that a while back, but man, it just got the crowd was, I don't know.
Cameron,
the crowd's
Cameron
fucking
runs
weird.
It. Who runs it?
I got tired of it during football season. Is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Wait, who's the guy who runs it though? Let's give him a shout out.
Courtney.
Courtney, yeah, Simply Courtney. Yeah, Simply Courtney ran it, and dude, that was a fun show. I had a great time.
Does he still sit in the back talking?
No, he's up on stage with a little MIDI keyboard and
Yeah, that's what I'm
Spotify. Oh yeah.
Oh, he's doing like a Craig Robinson type thing.
I like that he adds in. It helps because he actually is able to be funny without being funny. Like he's able, like if someone says something dumb or someone's bombing, he can just throw out a little like.
Oh, so he's improving it a little bit. That's
Oh,
cool.
man,
He used
yeah,
to not give a fuck about it. So now he's up on stage the whole time.
Yeah, he's up on stage the whole
That's cool.
time, and he's helping.
Is the tip bucket still out?
There was no
There
tip
was no
bucket.
tip
There was a
bucket
tip
that
bucket for comics.
I never saw that one.
And then I got someone to give us $20 and I didn't see any of it. I was like, oh, come on, give me $2.
Ah,
Didn't happen.
I'm
wow.
supposed to be at a crawfish boil today for the fire department. Instead, I came here and made an idiot of myself and freaking failed.
How do you feel about that?
Failed on air. It doesn't feel good.
Fire.
This guy fucking loves crawfish. Don't even get him started.
No, I think fireman can probably do crawfish pretty good. I don't really love it. I just I haven't had it in like 20, 30, a long time. And it just happened
He was
to be.
very excited.
There was
when
just happened to be
Shakespeare
alley
said it.
crawfish, you know? You had some alley crawfish that day, didn't you?
Are you like allergic? Why haven't you had it for 30 years?
Nobody, I lived in.
I've never
That's
had
your
it.
I lived in
Why?
Arizona. And
How old
I lived
are
in
you?
California. There's been other places. But yeah,
Didn't do good crawfish etouffee in California.
I don't think so.
No, that makes sense. More avocado toast.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I lived in Louisiana when I was a kid, and like, why would I like try it?
Other people's
Arizona,
crawfish.
yeah.
It's like me with hot dogs.
Well, we have really special. So
The priests have the best.
part of my growing up, talking about screenplays. I've written a screenplay. And-
Nobody brought up screenplays at all, did they? It's,
Well, you've written them.
yeah, so you just had to say that I've written a screenplay too.
I'm
Shout
trying,
you out,
I'm
bro.
trying to shout out ChadO on
Yeah.
his God. That was
ChadO
a tip of the
shout
hat.
out.
That was a
Yeah.
tip of the hat.
It's kind of
He's
like
the only one who has to be on strike right now. I guess I technically am supposed to show something.
I do have WGA credits and registrations, but
Did
yeah.
ChatGPT write your fucking screenplay, dude? Just be
No.
honest.
It's too old.
No, there's no way.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
sorry.
wrote
I was trying
ChatGPT. Actually, ChatGPT gets his ideas from me. That's a real fact. Actually,
It was Chad.
That's no cap, is what they say.
What the kids are saying now is they take a piss yelling their own name.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that was such a weird one. I had to enforce
That's
it
an
too.
insane thing.
I would have to enforce it
Say your
too.
name, Bobby. Say say your
We
name.
would call it. We'd be like, I was gonna make up any random name, right? It wasn't one that was real. I was gonna be like Cameron, and they would have to be like, Cameron. It was every 5 seconds. If you don't call it out after 5 seconds, you get a warning. The second time, you get.
But why did you have?
What if he's ate by a bear? What if he's ate by a bear and you're giving him like 5
That's it.
warnings?
We would know if he was getting eaten by a bear.
Yeah, because you give him so many warnings.
What? No. What if he was getting eaten by a bear? We would all know.
But was there another counselor there?
There was. Yeah. There was a therapist that would come out once a week, and then we were all.
Okay, so
trained.
that doesn't count.
Right.
If it's once a week.
But we were all
because you don't have to follow the rules. If
Well,
there's no one there to
but
enforce them on you.
So the game was, how do you get out of the program? So you would have, like, the program wanted to teach you, like, you basically
Structure.
Yeah, but like, let me paint it in like the nicest, like how they want it to
Okay,
be.
Bob Ross hit me.
Let me paint it in the nice Bob Ross way. So yeah, they
Here's a happy
were hoping,
mountain.
like they
a
take,
happy penis that's happy peeing. And a happy
they
camera.
take someone who's like needs a rite of passage, and they get a rite of passage. They're able to bust a flame. They put up their own tarp. They live out in the wilderness, which is very hard to do.
Should I risk it?
Even if it's easy,
Okay.
it's hard to
Those ones
do.
are
You
good.
also have one of these. Even if it's like it's not easy to live out in the wilderness. Even if you have the things
All
that
the
you
things,
need,
yeah.
right? It's just hard life. So they're out there for hundreds of days at sometimes. So if they would buy into the program, it would work. Because then they would learn, and there was levels, there was cool little things that you would like earn and win.
Right.
If you could like do the survival skill.
You get a hatchet.
Yeah, we wouldn't give the kids hatchets, but
probably smart.
Right, but there was similar things like that. Like you could earn to like have your like headlamp at night, so you could read in your bunk. You know, that was a big one. You know.
Hey, the Mennonites are like, what? This place sounds like paradise.
Right. But if the kids bought into it, it was cool. If they didn't, though, then it
was
would,
annoying.
Right, and it was also at a certain point, it was like, man, I remember there was one kid who was out there for like 300 something days, and it was expensive for that kid to be out there for that long. And like at this point, it's not working. We got to try something else, right? 'Cause, like at this point, it was fucked up. Where he was just like, I'm not doing this program. He beat the program. He gangstered out, dude.
Fuck.
Yeah. So there was one. And
Did that kid say the N-word a lot?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he did for sure.
So kids,
they all did. They all.
if you say the N-word, you can beat the program.
I wish it wasn't about that. God damn it.
That's what it's gonna go back to every time.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's not great. Anyways, no, it is too. Like he has to be somewhat of a psycho because, like, socially, if everyone else around you is buying in and doing like the social experiment, you should want to be part of what they're all part of. It shouldn't only be award based. It should also be like societally, we all want to act the same.
Yeah, I mean, there was also like, there was negatives. You could learn a lot of different stuff.
I hate you. But so the fact that like all his peers were doing what they were supposed to
And
be doing,
leaving because
yeah,
of it.
and he was like, "Fuck them. I don't even want my peers to like me." Like that's not a great sign for that kid's future.
It's not a great sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever, So
Was he a court mandated, or his parents were just like, "We want to get rid of him for
It was
300 days"?
It was his parents.
Yeah.
And that's really, and so. But what's cool about the program, which is probably the most important part about that program, is while their kid is away, the parents have to go through therapy, or their kid gets pulled out.
Oh,
So the parents.
that's wild.
Which is like probably the most. That's really.
How
where-
often do they have to do therapy?
I think twice a week to check
What
to
the
check
fuck?
to check in on their kid, which is like huge. That really
Yeah.
does. I think that saves.
So you're fixing the parents and the kid.
Right.
Was the kid ever in that therapy or no?
No.
No, it
Well,
was just like
so they
couples
would
therapy.
sometimes they would have calls that would be there because they sometimes that's not true. Yes, sometimes they would.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
okay.
like they would have. We'd have to have a satellite phone. It was a whole special thing.
This
you got
is
to go.
insane.
You got to go away and like.
I'm
get, like,
going to
gummy.
Utah.
You got like gummy bears and you got to like talk. You got to talk trauma with your patients, parents. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of fucked up. But
Were single parents allowed?
no, they were usually
They
they're
had to be
rich.
married?
They were
Okay.
rich. So most rich people
'cause
are
they had
married
to
or
afford.
they're divorced, but even still they're connected because they had money.
You broke ass single parents.
Suck it. Your kid doesn't get to stay out in the woods for 300 days.
Yeah, well, it was-
300 days.
It was expensive. And
That kid-
And think like it was probably like $700, $800 a day.
I would. How much did you make?
Just let a minute.
No, we made nothing.
For $700
I mean,
a day?
we made. I think it was like right out of college. So I had to get my. That's how I got into the fire service. Was I had to get my EMT.
Yeah.
So before I got my EMT, I got my wilderness first aid first responder because that's what this job had a requirement
Did,
for.
yeah.
And so I got that, and then that's when I went out, and
This is wild.
It's a wild story.
crazy.
And so I would have to I would give them meds, and I would like track their water, track their food, make sure they were doing okay. That was like I was like the medic. I would fix their blisters.
Yeah.
That was like the medical side of it, which got me into more of a.
Got you your merit badge so you could do
That got me the passion.
Yeah.
I realized because it gave me an in with all the kids. I was very effective at my job at the time. I had a lot of really good conversations with these young men and women and some adults. I was there.
ChadO's there, just like fucking.
I was there to help.
Fire.
I was there to help people, and I was able to do that.
ChadO's looking for gold on the side of the mountain.
That's what I did.
ChadO would love the adult group. He would have fit right in.
I don't like people. I don't like doing things.
Well, that's why you're in the wilderness. You don't have to like people.
Yeah.
Well, that's too. It's what's crazy is like, dude, $700 a day. That's fucking insane. 300 days, that fucking kid.
That's like
And it just wasn't working.
that's
Like, we knew it
$2
wasn't
million
working at
bucks.
150. Like the
150.
we knew it.
10.
We knew it. No, 10. You got to give because you got to give it time.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. Obviously, there's a very normal progression. Like imagine being a 14-year-old.
Yeah. being
Like
stuck
there's
in the
a
woods.
very normal. There, like, men are dumb and
Yeah.
we're easily manipulated, and so there's a very normal path that would go through the psyche.
Dude, the amount I would love to see where that kid is now because he's either a CEO or a serial killer.
I would bet that he is a serial killer.
Okay, that's a bummer. They're like, yeah, his name was weird. Elon, like some Elon.
Yeah. Oh, he's that Survivor Man guy.
Yeah.
He's just totally
He's
went.
Bear Grylls.
He's went straight up Survivor Man. Now he just does it all the time.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be a Navy SEAL and just stay outside every day of my life.
No, he's
I
probably.
didn't
in
like
prison.
it for those 300 days, but now it's my thing.
It was also really fun when the parents would have to come out and live for they would come out for there
One
was
day.
there was like literally one day and the whole time when the parents would have to come out to the field, and it wasn't just one day, it was 2 days.
Yeah.
They would have to come out and they would have to live there for 2 days, and the bitching that those parents would, dude. So
Was it one night or 2 nights?
It was one night. 2
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they would fucking lose their shit. You know what I mean? They would always be like, like they would
and
be
you'd be like,
waking
maybe
us
this
up.
is what's wrong with your fucking kid.
Oh my god, it was 1,000,000% it was the parents. Oh god, that's 100% what it was. You know what I mean? It's like you can, if you are a good parent, you can handle an adolescent 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You just have to sit them down and show them some love and care and boundaries. All they craved was boundaries.
And the back of a fucking hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, to show them boundaries, you took them out to the great wide wilderness?
I said,
to show
don't get lost.
to show
Yeah.
them
To show them boundaries, we took them to the Mexican-American border.
The
and
wilderness
said,
was
this
actually-
is how easy it's to get across.
You misunderstand. The wilderness was actually the good side.
Yeah.
Because you learn things, and you're in the desert, and sometimes the desert will
I
turn.
keep forgetting it's the desert.
You
I'm like
keep-
picturing like a
The
nice
desert does not
vista.
show itself immediately.
Okay.
If you go out to the desert for the first 2 weeks, you think the desert's dumb and just boring and it's just like terrible to live there. But then the desert will open itself up to you, and you're on like purple Mars, and you're seeing like lizards and all these crazy beautiful flowers, and like the desert is a wild
So
place.
you were basically running the camp from holes.
Yeah, I guess
Nice.
I can draw that. Yeah, I'll check that off for sure.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the desert. I dug a lot of holes in the desert.
Don't believe that about you.
Yeah. But I
Trying to say
yeah.
you're a gangster?
No.
You're like burying bodies?
No.
ChadO's fucking burying 6 feet under?
No, you can't really dig 6 feet in the desert. There's a lot of where I was at, there's a lot of bedrock. Yeah.
No, more here. You can definitely dig in the desert. You can dig 6 feet easily. That's why people do it there. Here,
Maybe
it's
the
harder.
Vegas desert.
Limestone.
Well, yeah, where I was at, there was a bedrock really close by.
It's not ideal.
No.
Probably not 6 feet.
Vegas is my favorite, especially at night, driving into Vegas and just being like, yo, humans just said fuck you to Mother Nature. And we're like, we're going to build this city near fucking nothing. And it's going to rock.
And it does.
And it does.
It does.
Yeah, my kid got Katy Perry tickets for, my son bought my daughter Katy Perry tickets for her 23rd birthday coming up in August in
What does
Vegas.
your son do for a living? Trade stocks?
No.
Does he have the money for that?
He doesn't have a car payment or a house. Yeah, he pays a little bit of rent, but, he doesn't have any other bills, So, yeah. So, yeah.
Can you pay my bills? Can you
Yeah.
pay my telephone bills? Can you pay my automobile bills?
Sung by a black man. He's doing black voice.
Keep it going.
Can we talk guilty pleasure songs? Let's hear you two.
Me?
Think about it before you just answer me.
It's
What's
Cher,
the one song you don't
Believe
want
by
anyone
Cher.
else to know? The one song that you like that you don't want anyone
Believe
else
by
to know.
Cher.
Belief by Cher. Nice, okay.
I had one
Can
CD.
you give us a sample? What's your favorite part?
The whole song. It's only like 5 words.
I had the same CD in my car for like 10 years.
Is it shares?
Doesn't answer the fucking question, Chad.
But yeah, if you guess it, I'll tell it. But,
Backstreet Boys.
Nah.
NSYNC.
I don't want to guess. I just want you to tell me the
But
question.
it was Appetite for Destruction. But I guess that
Accurate destruction?
Appetite for Destruction.
Oh. Why are you
But-
saying it all sheepishly?
That Welcome to the Jungle. That intro. Driving through the Hollywood Hills.
It's not a bad album.
No,
Yeah,
that's but
that's a really dumb guilty pleasure song.
What album are you embarrassed of? One of the most famous of all time.
but I have.
You're showing a lot of depth
That's all I
right
listened
now.
to for a long
Showing a
time.
lot of depth right now.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm not gonna judge you for that, Chad. I enjoyed that. It's a good album.
It was.
And it's good for Hollywood.
Yeah, it was. It was good for Hollywood because it was a very LA album. It was all about Los Angeles at the time.
It is funny that like hair bands haven't come back.
They never went anywhere.
They're still with us.
Yeah.
In our heart.
I used to see Vince Neil at Laugh Factory all the time, every Wednesday.
It's weird how
on
many
Tuesdays.
musicians love comedy.
Yeah.
Like you hear stories all the time. They're like, yeah, if you're ever in Colorado, that's where this guy lives, and he'll come to Helium every night. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. There's a lot of musicians and comedy that mixes, but it doesn't go well if you do comedy before a music band or afterwards. But apparently
Tell that to Sternworm because that's what he wants to do.
Jim Brewer, he did it for Metallica.
Really?
Yeah, he opened for Metallica a lot.
Do you think they're actually going to make a sequel to Half Baked? Would it
Yeah.
just be called Baked?
I think they were casting it already. Yeah.
Oh, I just can't see Jim because Jim Brewer's gone like so far right.
Well,
I can't see him and Chappelle. I guess Chappelle's gone pretty far right too.
yeah.
I think first it's gonna be much different than the first
But
one.
these are actors. These are not real people. These are
He does a
These are
good job
characters.
acting.
They are very. These are.
Yeah, but they're also gonna write it and get final cut of the script. And
Well,
stuff.
that was a problem before he didn't.
Didn't,
So that bullshit ending wasn't his. But
My guilty pleasure song is "Stick with You."
I wondered why you asked this question. These are all self-writing questions.
By
I'll go
Pussycat
right
Dolls.
back to
"Stick with You" by Pussycat Dolls. Listen to it.
where you going, dude? It's all.
He's going to listen to his favorite song.
I drank a lot of water on tour.
A tour.
He has
with
that
the Pussycat Dolls.
He has that big hose that he drinks out of. Those firemen.
Yeah, it's a.
Lock it up. Give it to me.
Anyways,
Are we gonna be supremely disappointed tonight again?
I don't know, man. I think it's your week. You have to. I mean, everybody else has been on that.
It's unreal.
There's people that have been on twice now that have done this. Like,
It's so fun. Trent Bradley was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I should go back for a while because I don't want them to think I'm like greedy."
well, Mario Tonte got on. His second time was this week, and it was literally almost a month.
Mothership?
Yeah. It was almost a month to the day now. And his first one didn't go that well, and the second one he said did much better. So,
My first one's not gonna go that well.
well,
I feel it.
if he thinks his went well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, I never think I do.
Yeah,
I could walk out and people being like, "Yeah, that was fucking awesome." And be like, "It wasn't that good."
you people don't know shit.
No one likes me. It's
Yeah.
God damn.
We're-
You have to realize I drink a lot of water on tour.
On
Because like
tour.
sometimes you have to fight a fire and you're there for like 6-8 hours.
And sometimes you have to pee up the fire because they run out of
Yeah.
water. And
Just fucking go for it.
yeah, you have to have that backup bladder.
They're like, "Okay,
Actually,
boys,
you don't
bring
piss-
out the hoses."
That's not how your body works. Actually, you're not pissing on the fire scene.
You're not pissing on the fire?
Because of adrenaline, or
No, we're not. I mean,
Yeah,
it's funny
did you have a boner
we
at the
obviously-
time?
We
You
obviously,
I get firewood.
My dick is too firewood.
It's a huge whole new definition of firewood.
Is that a thing that you
we
get?
drink a lot of water. Yes.
But no, do you guys get firewood? Is that a thing?
Is there one fireman that shows up? He's like, "Yeah,
Do we get firewood? Yeah.
fuck yeah." Dude, the amount I want to know that everyone fighting my fire has a boner.
It's very exciting for us.
Speaking of,
Is that why you guys set them?
Yeah, we make most of them.
we stayed at a house next to a gas station, and they had a big bush, and that got like firebombed by some homeless guy that hated the campus being there, so he would just firebomb random houses, which is insane. So the bush was on fire, and someone knocked on my door and was like, "Zach, like, the house is on fire. We have to get out of here. The tanks next door could explode." and I was jerking off. So I was like, I'll be out in a minute. And they're like, what? The house is on fire. I was like,
but
60 seconds isn't
me a
going to make a
second.
big deal.
People are like, how does that guy in Pompeii literally get covered in ash with his dick in his hand? This is how, right
How's
here.
that guy that's like, I'll finish off.
I got time.
Well, I'm like, thank God I did, because I was the only one like sober enough, like, because you get that post-nut clarity. Everyone was trying to like fight the fire and stuff. And I was like, guys.
Yeah, so what would you do if you had to help someone else? You still finish your nut?
Yeah.
Was that what you do?
No, I have been caught before.
I have priorities.
You got to
Well,
leave.
you're in a firehouse with like 8 other dudes. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like you're in
You're
the
gonna get
bathroom or
caught.
the shower or something like that, and like sometimes the tones drop, you know. So we don't finish our nut, dude. We go because like people are dying. Sometimes they're not. If
We
it-
were
if it-
fine. I would have liked all the firemen to finish their nut.
Cold blue.
Over there.
If it was a
Cold
staging,
blue.
if it was a
Cold blue
staging-
nuts. Come on. What are you talking
If it was
about?
a staging thing, you know. No, we respond quickly and effectively. Try to anyway.
Staging.
This week's episode brought to you by firemen not finishing their nuts.
Is it?
Now I feel like every time I'm in a fire situation,
That's
I
why
have to
they're
go
grumpy.
out and be like, hey guys,
Let me
sorry.
finish you off.
I know you were probably beating it, but
Probably.
no, I remember the guy came back to inspect like a week later, and they took our we like looked through all our extinguishers, and they were all like super expired. So we had them lined up for the inspector to come by and be like, "Oh, this is what's up,"
yeah.
because it was technically a crime scene.
Yeah.
And in the box that we had the extinguisher, we put a banana. And he got so mad. He was like, "The fuck is this? It's serious." I was like, "Homie,
serious.
You were bringing us new fire extinguishers. These are all expired. Who cares that there's a banana in there?"
Drama
We
in the
thought
frat
it was
house.
funny.
Drama in the frat house. Our joke bomb, guys. He didn't like the banana.
We were all free. We were like, "Dude, it's fucking funny. It's a banana hanging in the fire." Like he went up and just ripped it off. He's like, seriously, and then he put the new one in. And I was like,
I bet that guy sucked.
"Yeah, he wasn't."
But at the same time, you should have.
It was just investigating a crime scene. And,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
No, our landlord got yelled at by the fire department because they were all expired. They're like, you can't rent a house if you have expired equipment.
You gotta spend some money on the fire extinguishers, dude. You gotta spend some money on the fire extinguishers.
Probably the least you have to have them.
Yeah. Well, it's also
did
like,
that guy just like climb up the window?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
he locks his family upstairs.
That was my dog.
Probably went in.
It was a little black dog.
Nah, I met your dog.
That was a little different. That was a different one.
And you need different fire extinguishers, right, for different kinds of fire.
Absolutely right.
See, a lot of people don't know this.
A lot of people
We're
don't know that.
educating here.
Yeah. Gotta have the right fire extinguisher for the right thing.
Well, if you have a
Classes of fires.
Well, there's like grease fire, and then there's ones that could be put out with water. Like a grease fire gets worse
Class
with
A,
water.
B, C.
well, if you have
A.
an MSDS hanging in next to all the chemicals in your house, you'll really know what you're fucking talking about. That's a material safety data sheet. So it actually tells you what chemicals
What
come
kind of
out,
one?
what chemicals. So if you really want to get technical about it, you have an MSDS
Well,
right there.
every-
next
every-
Right, yeah,
restaurant
the
has
ERG.
one.
We have the ERG,
Yeah.
we call it, for certain chemicals.
That was like the dumbest part. Every like restaurant I've worked at, they make you read like here's this binder. I was like, do you guys realize this guy's an ex-heroin addict? He's not gonna check the binder before trying to put out the fire with like water. Like this guy doesn't fucking know.
The guy who set it off with the candle and the spoon
Yeah.
doesn't know how to put it out.
It's a
Yeah.
drug cooker, not a spoon, sir.
drug cooker. It's an Instapot.
I'm pretty impressed. I don't think you've done one volcano today.
I did
You-
beforehand.
You had the pre-volcano.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I even had a beer. It's like almost done.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You're growing up right in front of our fucking eyes.
So
Do your fire buddies like your stand-up? You said they all came to your one show.
Not all of them. Some of them did.
Because-
I would say it's a mixed bag. I'm sure some people have feelings about it. No one's overtly come to my face and said they didn't like
Okay.
it, but I have my assumptions that
Did
it's
you do a
probably-
lot of fire-based material? Or?
I have some that's really good, yeah.
Okay.
And it's mostly inappropriate, though. It's mostly like pussy jokes, dick jokes,
Well-
asshole jokes. It's really pussy, dick, asshole.
Okay, so do you think they're upset that you're not taking like the fireman life seriously, or is it just like
That's a
they just
worry.
don't like stand-up?
That's a worry.
Okay.
I will think that but it's funny because they also work two jobs. Most
Right.
times it's like, okay, well, you're a fucking, you're
You work at Applebee's.
car
somewhere.
detailing or like relating, you know.
yeah,
what I
those
mean?
pay money though.
All right, 1,000,000%. I know. Trust me. I think about that all the time. Should I bail out on this thing where I'm fucking it up all the time, making a clown of myself, and
Literally.
do something that?
Well, that brings up my other question. Do you think they make fun of you when you're not there?
I'm sure people talk shit. Yeah. Are
I mean,
you
it's a
asking if
room
farmers
full-
talk shit? Yeah.
Well, it's
farmers
like-
talk shit. Yeah.
10, 15 men, of course.
Well,
they talk shit.
yeah,
But I'm not mad about that.
you talk shit about him doing car detailing anyways, right? So fuck that guy.
Well, no, that guy actually doesn't work in our department. He works for Seguin.
Specifically.
I know him from high school.
That is always the weirdest thing when people are like, "Yo, I heard you were talking shit the other day." I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, well,
Look,
aren't you upset? I'm like, no,
you
it's
have to
fucking
realize,
fun.
Firemen, we really do understand the human condition to a deep
Yeah.
extent because we have to deal with everyone's bullshit. So we're pretty gracious with each other. It's like sometimes I know people talk shit just to talk shit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't mean. Like it wasn't.
Well,
like
it's
you
like a
weren't-
way to-
It depends. It's like what level of shit were you
Yeah.
talking? You know what I mean? Were you like, oh, if someone calls in sick, we're talking shit.
It's a way to blow off steam.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
It's like if you call in sick, we don't believe you. You're a total piece of shit. You're fucking. You're at the strip club with you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's not real. But sometimes it is real, and we just don't. It's not real, like shit talk.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it like gets real heated, and it is real. You know what I'm saying? So it's just.
Well, it's like in the restaurant. Like I'll be like, God, fucking Nikki sucks.
do they like it? I don't know, but they haven't not liked it enough to bring it to my attention.
to say anything to you.
Yeah, and some of them like to come out and show some support, which is dope, right?
Well, but that's what I'm saying is like because it's such a serious thing, I could see some being like oddly, I assume like if a teacher was to do stand up and talk about teaching, I could see all the other teachers being like, oh my God, we're shaping young minds.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
not?
Everyone has everyone thinks they're funny, and everyone has their own opinions.
Yeah.
That's just.
Well, that's the other thing. I assume in a firehouse, everyone's pretty funny because it's got like.
there's a lot of personalities. In there.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
say
that's close
That's
enough.
the way to say it. For sure.
Well, because anytime you put a bunch of
I
men
would say
together,
I like the conversations that we have over the firehouse table. Like I would think that I think the people I get to work with are some of the most open-minded, loving people of any race, of any
well, they're willing
gender,
to
of
jump
any
into a
ethnicity.
fire to save someone.
And it's very trite, but it's true. It's like we deal with everyone is the same.
Yeah.
Everyone's the same on the inside. Like we're all white bone and red. We white and red on the inside.
You've seen a lot of insides of people in this line of work. Is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
for sure. Dude, all of the bodily fluids I'm acquainted with, unfortunately.
Have you any ladies in the department in your house?
There's one lady in our
One lady?
department, yes. Which is, and there's ladies across the board, and they
No, I know,
can do the
yeah.
job. That's the thing I was asked before.
This one?
Can ladies do the job?
This one sucks.
And it's
Shirley can't handle it.
It's really, and I like how for so far what the service has done is not put they haven't overly pumped women into it to try to like meet a standard. It's
Yeah.
just like it's a case by case basis. If you can do the job, you can do the job,
yeah.
but you have to meet these requirements. And as long as I like that, as long as the requirements are there, then it doesn't matter who can do the job.
So it's not like the Marines where they lowered the requirements.
yeah.
You know, is it a younger female who are you out there by Wimberley? Is that where you're?
No, no.
Okay.
I work in.
Chance, like I park outside that firehouse and jerk off.
No. I
I can't say where I work now because I'm previously on the podcast. I work in the hill country, like north of here.
I had a.
Man, that sucks.
What was that?
I don't know.
Kicking my shit.
No,
One of the
it was
beers just rolled
it
over.
was some keys and some glasses.
Yeah.
Something happened. Anyways, it was in the bucket. Anyways, Robert Rodriguez. I was working with his set design guy, and his girlfriend made it to the Wimberley Fire Department while I was living down there.
Okay.
And yeah,
Good for her.
yeah. But I thought maybe that was the one female.
No.
What's the whole thing like Tacoma FD? I don't know if you watch it.
I know. I don't
It's
watch
good.
any of the shows that are
Well,
similar to my job.
it's the Broken Lizard guys.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were familiar or not, but it's pretty good. It's funny, and they got women, and they talk about it and all that.
Nice.
What about that?
Club Dread and
Club Dread,
maybe,
Super Trooper.
Yeah, Beer Fest.
Quasi, not good at all. Do not recommend that one.
What about that
But
Dennis?
Tacoma FD is good.
What about that
I
Dennis
believe
Leary one?
Oh no, I didn't. People love that one. I didn't watch
The
it.
Dennis Leary fire. one?
Rescue Me.
Yeah, Rescue Me.
I don't watch any of that shit. What do I gotta say? No, I don't watch none of that shit.
Yeah,
It's
but
dumb.
you don't get television where you live.
Yeah, maybe Rescue Me was before you were a fireman.
No, I mean,
You know, some
It
people
was.
some people watch Top Gun
was.
and they're like, I'm joining the fucking military.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, that wasn't me for sure.
Was there nothing that really pushed you into it? Like your dad didn't do it, or
No, yeah, two things pushed me into it. One was long hours on.
what if you said Rescue Me? I'd lose my fucking.
Well, there was this redheaded guy.
It was actually
There's this redheaded firefighter, and I was like, man, I could be a redheaded firefighter too.
Lone Star 911. I was watching that, and it really touched my heart. No, yeah, it was. 2 reasons. It was one because of when I was working in Wilderness, I liked being the medical guy because it gave me an in with people. Like showing someone care.
I got the drugs
for no reason, and having the drugs made you likable, and they would talk to you.
Want some morphine, bro?
We're just passing out morphine. That's wild. And the other reason was because I like the schedule. So it's like 2 days on, 4 days off.
Yeah, that's tight.
Right. So it's like a long, and sometimes I get like this weekend, no one knew how to drive, so we were up chasing car accidents for 48 hours, you know.
Jesus.
And then we're chilling. Like on the days off, you get to I get to go do comedy. I can drink it.
Do you have shifts that are just like? Have you ever had a shift where like no calls?
Yeah,
that's
does
fucking
happen.
insane.
So it happens. It's very. That does happen. It depends on what is good. So you kind of just try to live your life around the emergencies, you know. So it's like you have your training and your workouts and your this and your that, and you try to like go through the day and figure that out.
So my apartment caught on fire like 2 weeks ago.
Oh shit.
And, well, it wasn't like it was like 3 doors down from me. But it dog-legged, so it's like boop boop boop.
Okay.
And so like.
What floor?
4th floor.
Oh, wow.
But Kellen, who weirdly gets brought up again, he lives on the 3rd floor. So
you can't stop talking about him.
We could go down to his room and see the fire. So I was walking and like
you just watched all your stuff burn?
No, we had a lot of like false calls.
Oh, okay.
So like the alarm would go off and it was nothing.
Okay.
So I was like, I text Kellen, I was like, you think this was fake? And then he sent me a video of this guy's balcony on fire.
Yeah.
And so I was going down, I was like, it's not bad. It's not like gonna get inside. It's a brick house. There's nothing really it could jump through. The glass doors are closed. Like, I think we're pretty good. And this guy was like, I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. I was like, probably smart, whatever. I had a glass of whiskey in my hand, dressed like this.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the stairs to Kellen's and the firemen are coming up. And we already saw from this dude's house, like
It's
the
burning.
fire get put out.
Oh, nice.
So they already had it put out. Firemen are coming up. I was like, yeah, good job, boys. Good job. Like, yo, can you show us which apartment it is? I was like, yeah, I got you. So in flip-flops and tank top.
You want me to be a
full
hero
glass of
today?
yeah. I was like, see
Yes,
that
sir.
one with the swamp in front of it? That's the one you were nailing with the hose. And they're like, good, you should evacuate. I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. We all know the fire's done.
Yeah, luckily, the reason we do more medical shit than we do fire shit is the buildings that we've had a lot of strategy in the way things are built. So
Yeah. Glass
there is
doors,
a reason-
metal.
Yeah, there is a reason that just that one apartment would burn.
And there's a reason why 9/11 was an inside job.
Wow. Imagine if they didn't hijack the planes. Would have been egg on our face.
I got in a weirdly long conversation about 9/11 conspiracy last night. I was like, this is not what I want to
Let's
do.
not relive
This is
that.
not.
Let's
Yeah.
not relive that. I don't want to do that right now.
Like, this is a fucking nightmare.
That's his touchy subject. Yeah. Anyways, well, that's been ATX Comedy Review. Fuck this shit.
That's it. Do you have anything to pump?
No, not after this.
Are you doing Shakespeare's on Monday? You helping out with that?
Yes, I would say yes to that. I am. So I do have some shows in June in Corpus. I got a show in
Fuck yeah.
June. And I post to my Instagram at Big Texas Comedy.
Go follow him. Do all that shit.
Yeah.
Big Texas Comedy. Thanks for coming out, man. It's been fun.
I appreciate
it was cool.
Yeah.
Wednesday, May 31st. Get tickets at roscoe's.com. Come out, East Coast versus West Coast. Should be fun.
Roscoe.
Yep.
And then
Stick with
ChadO.
you, Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah. Subscribe to my Substack, writer ChadO.
Fuck yeah.
I need readers. Talk to you later. We're out. Bye.